Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment. All right, welcome everybody live again. All right, tonight's show, I'm going to be talking about making America great, swirling to investment, and build back a better swirl. Okay, using some political slogans in there. But anyway, I got a slideshow to show you. All right. Pro white leadership. Welcome to the show. Good to see you.
What's going on, Brent?
Hey, how's it going? And everybody coming in the building. Good to see you, Fancy Nancy. Um, um, yeah, what I'm going to talk about is stuff that I see, okay? And it's going to be kind of funny, okay? But really there's a point to this, okay? Um, when it comes to marriage, black women, white men are the most successful today. You hear me talk about it all the time, right? But it is true if you look at the data. And, not every marriage works, but, we're leading the way. We have the longest lasting marriages. Um, and I've seen it in real life, I've seen the data. And, but I made some slides and I'm going to talk about this, okay? And I'm going I might trigger some people because I'm going to talk about the Dusties. Okay. But anyway, let me go ahead and put this up here. All right. Seems like I'm missing one, but let me remove this. All right. Okay, here. All right. This slide, it's talking about fairy tales and magic dust. Okay.
Brent, I'm sorry.
Okay, you see these pictures up here, right? Okay. This is stuff that, all right, is that you've heard, right? Stuff it's fairy tales. It's magical. I mean, it's kind of like a Disney fairy tale story, okay? But people do believe this stuff, okay? And these stories are made up. So, these beta kings feel superior. Okay. Made up stories and fairy tales to feel superior. Okay. And then there's this guy you see with the big head on the right. Yakub, I think that's how you say it. This guy is supposedly a black scientist that created white people, if you can believe it, okay? 6,600 years ago, they say this guy created white people. Not God, but a black man in his lab or maybe his mom's basement. I don't know. But it's, believed that he created white people, okay? And then number 3, and then the picture on my left, we know this guy, right? The guy that warns us about the snow bunny crisis. All right. Snow bunny crisis and snow bunny secret government agents. All right. So you've heard that, right? And the belief is what's destroying the black community is white women. And somehow if they could take care of the snow bunny crisis, i.e., force black men to be with black women, the marriage rates would go up, things would somehow get better. All right. And then there's a myth he comes up with, the Snow Bunny secret government agents. He really says this. Okay. And that the government, to get to the black man, is using white women, secret Snow Bunny agents, to date them, marry them, get to their bank account, or some crazy stuff, and destroy the black community, because that's what a white supremacist government does. But anyway, number 4, invented everything in the world with no help. Okay, you'll see sometimes these guys say that black men invented everything, created everything. Okay, I don't take away from black people contributing. Okay, and they have, and I respect that, and I'm grateful. But everything in the world, that's impossible. But and then ruled the world, but lost it to an inferior group of people, i.e., white people, cavemen. Okay, us as white people, we were, under the control of black people till, living in a cave, bumping in the walls while they were building magical cities and doing great things. Okay, and then somehow white people took over everything. All right. But the true story is men conquered men through history, and that's what happened. But and then never, okay, and these beta kings, never their fault, blames everything on white supremacy or black women. Okay, that's like the default answer. And you see this all the time, right? But anyway, I don't know if you've seen Umar there with the rabbit, the Snow Bunny crisis. But if you look at it, white women get the worst end of it when dating and marrying black women. They're the most single mothers, more so than black women. So, I mean, it is what it is. But that is a fairy tale and magic dust. Made up stuff. If you can't debate, make some stuff up. Okay, you say it enough, people will believe it. All right. But anyway, that's the fairy tales and magic dust. All right. Now, this is a slide I've had before. Today's black woman. All right. Now I'm going to go over it again. All right. And this is what I want to explain to white men and non-black men. Okay. This is what today's black woman is, and what we don't see, most of us guys. Okay. Number 1, the most educated woman in the United States. That is true. Some will say, well, she's the most enrolled and her degrees don't matter. But you have to be the most enrolled to get the most degrees, which they do get the most degrees. Okay. And, there are other important degrees, besides scientists and engineers. Okay. There are a lot of black women in the medical field. Black women are lawyers, they're judges, they're all over the place. Okay. So they do lead the way. Most educated. Now, if you're a traditional man, you might not care about marriage. You might make plenty of money to take care of your wife and children. So you don't really focus on that, right? And as a man, you should be focused on taking care of the family, not what she brings to the table. Okay. But education, what that shows is the woman has character. She works hard, gets her degree, and improves. All right. And what would you say, pro-white leadership? I mean, the most educated, I know you're highly educated, and most of the women I talk to have degrees, really. I mean, hands down, who can compete?
Well, it all depends on who you ask. That's what I say.
Yeah. But I mean, okay. But if we look at the stats and numbers and we break it down in percentages, Black women lead the way, hands down. There's the debate's over. It's been proven over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. The most spiritual. Okay. Black women are the most spiritual. A lot of women of faith are Black women. Okay. I've been influenced by Black women. I am a man of faith. Black women had a big influence on me with my spiritual life, with my faith. And you go in the churches, you'll see a lot of Black women. They are women of faith. They're women of character. And what makes them great women of faith is they follow the Bible and doctrine, and they live by it. They're very disciplined. Okay. And we can do percentages to that too. And Black women lead the way. Okay. Leading the way in the corporate world. Okay. Now, this is the professional Black woman. How is she leading the way in the corporate world? Well, she's moving up. The most entrepreneurs, the biggest group of starting businesses is Black women. Okay. So they're leading the way there too. Okay. So, I mean, what other woman's competing so far? All right. And I'm not saying there ain't successful other groups of women. There are. Nothing to take away from them. But Black women are in the front. They're leading the way. Okay. Most loving. Okay. People will debate on this on me. Black women are the most loving. The only problem is a lot of times these beta kings aren't showing them the love. Black women are being exploited. Black women are being left at home with children. But nevertheless, they are the most loving. They have the biggest heart. Loyal. Black women are very loyal. Okay. The reason the Black community still stands is because Black women are loyal. They love the men in their community. Okay. If a Black woman loves you, you know it, and you're going to be blessed, and you'll never want to be loved by any other woman ever again. All right. Feminine. Black women are the most feminine. Okay. People say, oh, they're masculine. Well, she's a single mother trying to work a job and provide food for her and her children because her dusty boyfriend, can't find a job, or he's bouncing around the neighborhood. Well, she has to take on the not just the woman's role, but the man's role too. So she's going to have to be tough. Okay. But if the man's there, she's the most feminine, hands down. Okay. Most nurturing. Black women are very nurturing. Okay. They'll encourage you. They'll have your back. Speaking from experience, my wife always has my back. Okay. And when a Black woman loves you and you're doing what you're supposed to as a man, she's going to have your back, and she will give it her all to make sure you have what you need to be successful. Okay. Number 5. Okay. Puts everything first, adapts and overcomes. Okay. What I mean by that, Black women so many times put everybody above themselves. They do. Okay. We see this time and time again. They always put their family first, their kids, of course, even their man, even if he's a dusty beta male that don't contribute, she still puts him first. Okay. Now, adapts and overcomes. Black women have the least resources, in America. Okay. They do. Okay. But still, they're the most educated. Still, they're the biggest entrepreneurs. Still, they're the most spiritual women, most loving. They're still leading the way when, if you look at it logically, they shouldn't be, right? But they are. They have a way to adapt and overcome. Black woman sees what she wants, she gets it. Okay. And then number 6, I already said that. Most successful with the least amount of resources. Okay. the data's out there. You can look this up if you think I'm lying, but it's the truth. Okay. And then number 7, mind, heart, body, and soul. Black woman is the most beautiful woman on earth. Period. In the story. The debate's over. Pro white male leadership. You agree with that? I sure do.
I surely do. I mean,
I mean, and look, I mean, look at all those 4 pictures. That represents the black woman. You see Wonder Woman there, right? Powerful. She has strength. She adapts and overcomes. Okay. Underneath, the woman with the computer, the professional black woman, leading the way in the corporate world. Okay. Moving up because of her education, her hard work. She's killing it in the corporate world. She's leading the way. And then the other side, you see the black woman praying, most spiritual, most loving. Okay. And then the other woman, she's just enjoying her beautiful self. And hey, this says it all. Okay. So if you want to know about today's black women, non-black men, there it is. That's it in a nutshell. And, once you feel love from a black woman, you will not want to be with any other woman. Okay. And I'm telling you the truth. All right. And look, for me, I'm an investor. It's black women or nothing. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to cover the investor. All right. This slide here, guys, I'm going to make it a little bigger. I'm going to put this like down there. Okay. Okay. The investor. Okay. What an investor is. All right. And you guys hear me always say swirl to investment. Okay. Which means interracially dating to marriage, swirling the right way. Okay. Now, maybe I could change that logo so you could see it better. Okay. All right. The investor. The investor is a non-black man. Okay. Can be white, Asian, Hispanic. Okay. He's a non-black man that marries black women, that wants to be married to black women. That is his preference. Okay. Investor. He invests in the black woman. Okay. Number 1, a non-black man who is married to a black woman. Okay. That's what I call investment. All right. And number 2, the non-black man who looks at the most important looks at gosh, I was doing this too fast. But anyway, what I was saying is the non-black man looks at marriage as the most important investment. Okay. He looks at marriage as an investment, the most important one, and it is. Okay. So he kind of goes at it. He's in love with the black woman, but he's looking at it as an investment also. Okay. He loves himself, his culture, and every day. White man who wants a black woman for his wife. Okay. The investor, he loves himself. He loves his culture and his people. Okay. He's not a self-hater. He didn't get rejected by Becky. Okay. Really, you can't get rejected by Becky. There's so many of them. So if you want, so that stupid argument's stupid. But he don't want to be with Becky or Karen. He wants to be with the black woman. Okay. And he loves himself. The investor, a lot of times you guys will not know that he dates black women. Okay. Because he's not trying to act a certain way. He don't have his pants with his butt showing. He don't talk in all kinds of slang and all that stuff. He's not trying to be a tirade. Okay. And what that is, a tirade is a Brad that wants to be a Tyrone. Okay. That's what that is. But he's not trying to be that. He's being himself. The only difference is he wants a black woman by his side. Okay. Now, Number 4, black women is his preference and wants to be with the black woman. Okay. That's the only one he wants to be with. He's serious. He's thinking of marriage. He's thinking of family, legacy. Okay. And he understands black women, white men are the best option for each other. Okay. And they are. If you look at it statistically, they are the best option for each other. And that is the investor. Okay. All right. Is there any questions? That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Okay. And let me put one more up here. Okay. All right. All right. Let me go over this again. All right. This is the power couple, guys. Okay. Now, I put some cartoon pictures. I put one of me and Sandy and these other cartoon pictures. The power couple, black women, white men. All right. Number 1, longest lasting marriage, most successful. Data has proven that. Okay. Now, number 2, the black woman and white man have a 50% less chance of a divorce than a black man and black woman. Okay. Let that sink in. And actually, the stats are even higher. So, 2 black people have a 50% higher chance of a divorce than the black woman, white man. Okay. So, it's a lot more successful for black women to marry white men. I mean, the stats say that. Okay. People are going to disagree with me, but it's true. Now, number 3. Okay. 44% less chance of a divorce than a white couple. Okay. White men are more successful marrying black women than white women. Okay. They have a 44% less likely chance of divorce than 2 white people. Okay. Brad and Keisha have a much more successful marriage than Chad and Becky. Okay. It just is what it is. Okay. The numbers don't lie. Okay. Number 4, white men and black women are leaders in their communities. Anybody disagree with that? And protect their counterparts. White men protect Becky and Karen like no tomorrow. Okay. You've seen in history when things go south, a lot of times a white woman's involved. Okay. White men go in a frenzy protecting their women. That's how we are. We've been raised and conditioned to protect white women. Okay. It's in our culture. I think it's in our DNA also. Okay. And my father and grandfathers were like that. I'm like that. Okay. The only difference is I have a black woman on my pedestal. But anybody messes with they're taking a permanent dirt bath. You know what I'm saying? So that's how us white men are. We're very protective of our wives and daughters. Okay. It could be the wimpiest white guy. You mess with the women, you're done. Okay. We go in a frenzy. We're kind of like sharks, smell blood. You're done. It's a done deal. Okay. And that's how we are. Okay. But black women protect black men. They do. They put black men on a pedestal, just like we put Becky on a pedestal. Okay. That's something we have in common. Okay. And it's like we have the opposite effect, And number 5, both alphas, wolf pack. Okay. And why I put wolf pack is in the wolf pack, the alpha male and alpha female are the only ones that mate and have puppies. Okay. Now, when I look at this, black women and white men are the alphas in their community. They are the leaders. Okay. And when you take two positives and put them together, it creates a greater positive. And when you get Tyrone and Becky together, two negatives, it goes south. Okay. I don't mean to be mean. It just is what it is. You can look at the stats. Black men and white women, their marriage rates are the worst. Black women, white men, their marriage rates are the best. It's like one extreme to the other. Okay. And I'm not saying that because I wish it to be that way. No, it just is what it is. It's the truth. Okay. And it's crazy because I see it in my own life, with my wife and my brother-in-law and, his white wife and kid. Look, when people, it's so true. It's not even funny. It's crazy. But anyway, those are the slides. And let's drop this down. But anyway, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And look, we are the power couple. And I think, and you see my title and people say, okay, make America great, Swirl to investment. Well, what I mean is I believe more Black women and white men come together in marriage. I think America would be a better place. I do believe this. I think our marriage rates would go up. I think we'd have more stable homes. And I know the people that believe in being race loyal hate me for saying this, whether they be Black or white, but it is the truth. Okay. We are a minority in our community, but we do have the most success. Okay. And we are alphas because we have the courage to open up our options and be with each other. And thus we get the reward. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. And the thing of it is when I look at this and when I look at the stats in the Black community and I look at the marriage rates, last stat I looked at is 27% of Black women are married in America. Okay. 27%. That's sad. Okay. I think Black men are at 30%. And
And Brent, I'm so sorry to cut you off. Let me just add something. And the 27% of Black women that do get married, 80% ends in divorce.
Yeah.
To Black men.
Yeah, you're right. The divorce rate is higher than the marriage rate. Okay. And what's crazy is Black men will debate me on this and say, well, did you know Black women have a higher divorce rate than marriage? I said, yeah, dummy. And you're the one they're marrying. So congratulations. I mean,
and Black men's divorce rate is higher with non-Black women.
It is. Like I said, Tyrone and
Becky, our marriages last longer with non-Black men, particularly white men.
Yes, that is true. And so, yeah, Black men are better off with Black women statistically when it comes to marriage success. And that's a failure. Now, Black women, when they open up their options, their success rate goes way up. And in fact, they found that Black women, white men have the longest lasting marriage, the most successful. And economically, they're the most successful. Okay. Their kids are the most successful. Okay. And you can look at stats and look, I've seen it in real life. I'm in an interracial marriage. My wife's brother married a white woman, and we got biracial kids. My kids are all college educated. His, I think, 2 out of 5 graduated high school. So, I mean, it's, and, I think about that, and how do you explain that? And I think it's just Black women and white men, we're just more strategic. We think beyond, the attraction and the excitement in the beginning. We think long term. We think in legacy. We think financially. and when black women really figure out what they want in life, they're very strategic. Us white men, when we're like that too. Okay, we think about how can we build, how can we make this better, how can we, and once we get to know black women, I mean, it's over. I mean, seriously, once white men start feeling like we have a shot at dating and marrying black women, the numbers are going crazily increase. They're already increasing every day. Okay. And I would tell white men, don't listen to those black women on social media or talk shows that say, it's a black man or nothing. Don't listen to that. That ain't all black women. That's just somebody that's, you know, that wants it to be known that black men are everything. And if she believes that, that's fine. That's great. Go with where your heart is. But, you know, but really, and I would tell white men, look, there are a lot of black women that will date you, that will give you a shot. All you got to do is have enough courage to talk to her, you know. And mostly black women are reasonable. Um, you know, you're going to get rejected just because you're a white guy and she's black, because some black women might be attracted to you but afraid to date you. Okay, that does happen. Or she just might not like white guys, and that happens. But it's worth going through it. Okay? And but pro white leadership, what do you think? I mean, are black women pretty reasonable? I know there's different ones. There's ones that are, race loyal. There's ones that, that are afraid. There are some that will date you.
I would say this. Any
Mhm.
woman, I don't know if you call it reasonable. I don't know if that's the word I should use, and I don't want to use any bad words.
Yeah.
But any group of women that deals with men like black men for thousands of years, I don't know if that's called unreasonable. I don't know what to call that.
Well,
But but I don't know. So I have to stay out of this one. But yes, black women obviously, if you that's what you want to call it, are reasonable.
when I say reasonable, I'm looking at, you know, um, usually black women that I've been around are, they'll give you a chance. You might not be their preference, but if she has any kind of feelings for you, okay, she'll give you a chance and see what you're about, see what you got to offer. Okay. I'm saying that the ones that are willing to date, um, are reasonable. Now, the ones that are pro black, no, you don't have a chance. She's not going to be reasonable with you. She's going to kick you to the curb. But there are a lot of black women that, will take a chance to see, well, let me see what it's like. What's this guy got to offer? Um, some black women end up getting married to white men because they gave the guy a chance and found out he was a nice guy. He treated her well. Um, you know, in today's world, and there's a shift because look, they've done studies and they found that white men are more willing to date and marry black women than black women are willing to date and marry white men. That is a fact. Every study they did, they found that to be true. So, really, what's going on is what's stopping the swirl to investment is mostly black women. It's not white men. I mean, there's always, a case to case, but really, you know, black women hold the key, and thus they should. I mean, it's up to you who you want to be
And
with.
Brent, I'm sorry
Yes.
to cut you off, and I would like to add to that too. There was also a study done saying to white men that were married to white women. A study was done saying that they would end their divorce. They would get a divorce if they had a chance to be in a relationship with a black woman. 70% of them that was married.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I don't know what the numbers are, but there are a lot of white men that would do that. I'm just saying. So, white men, if you want to be with black women, just hey, spare yourself a lot of heartache and heartbreak, and just seek out black women. You know, approach till one says yes. I did it, but I was smart. You know what? Everybody thought I was crazy. They thought I was going to have it rough. Yeah. Okay. 29 years later, I'm still married. You've been divorced how many times and separated and all this stuff? Let me tell you, when I see my friends from high school, yeah. Okay. Remember you laughed at me? Yeah. Now you're asking me how to talk to black women. I think it's funny. But seriously, you know, and look, I know so many couples that have been married several years. You know, I get emails all the time. I've been married to my white husband or black wife for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I got one couple 40 years. There's a couple going on around a YouTube, and I think they're in their 70s, been married like 45 years or something. Guys, this ain't unusual. Long marriages with black women, white men is not, a fluke. It's not something that's not common. You know, it's not unusual. It is happening. There's success rates. And maybe it's because they have to fight for each other in the beginning and they're strong people. Hey, but it's happening. I mean, but I do promote it, and I do love seeing it. I think we're better off when we open up our options. Okay, we are, and I think we can make America great if we opened up our options. Okay, swirl to investment. Then again, those of us that swirl, let's build back a better swirl. Let's swirl to investment. Okay. People have done it because it's trendy and it's exciting, but what are you swirling for? Is it just to see what it's like, or you really want to be that power couple? White men should stop being subtle. White men just need to pull. Okay, I'm going to get mad and start going in on white men because, look, and I'm speaking to white men. If there's white men watching, I know there is. Listen to me. You want to date black women? Walk up to a black woman and talk to her. Tell her you think she's beautiful and you would like to get to know her. Just say that. Sometimes just saying hello and saying something kind goes a long way. That ain't going, you need to do more than that, but that's a start. Because here's the thing. If she's attracted to you, and you say the right thing, you got a good shot. But if you're afraid of offending her or she's going to reject you, well, then you're just rejecting yourself. And you know what? Then you're going to walk away and wonder what could have happened, what if, and you're going to hold your head down. But what you need to do is just do it. Like the Nike commercial, just do it. I mean, life's about rejection, right? We all go through rejection. Don't be afraid to risk rejection because the prize is so much more, the prize is worth it. Black women are the prize. Okay. And in society, women are the prize. The Bible tells us that. Okay. It's biblical. Men are not the prize. They're the rugged individuals. They're the ones that got to protect and provide and do the labor. Okay? It's not for a man to sit on the couch, play video games while the woman he's with is working 3 jobs. And look, we need to rebuild, guys. Okay? We need to rebuild the man, the woman. We need to get our morals straight. Okay? Now, I'm going to talk about something on pro-white leadership. You want to help me with this one? I'm going to talk about, how we can rebuild. I'm going to talk about, we're going to start with the black man, and we're going to go into every group, right? Okay. And how do you build back? Now, is there good black men out there? Yeah, they're out there, but it's far and few between. I call the good black man the diamond in the rough because he's rare. Some people call him the unicorn. Okay. And this diamond in the rough, this unicorn is a man that has character. He will speak out against other black men that he sees are doing wrong. He don't live in the collective. He lives in he lives in character. He lives in doing the right thing. Okay? That is the diamond in the rough, the unicorn. Now, what's crazy about this, right? Because people will say, well, there's good black men out there. Yeah, there's good in every group. Okay? But that's a needle in the haystack. Okay? Is there a needle in the haystack? Yes. Can you find it? Yeah, it's possible. But how likely is it? And when you outnumber black men and they're not marrying you, look, I mean, I say open up your options. I mean, what do you think, pro-white leadership?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it depends on what you're comparing them to. I mean, you already know what it is when it comes down
Well,
to me. So, I
what
mean, so I mean, I don't want to go onto that on your channel, but I've came up with, my little spectrum, and yeah, so that's a red zone right there. We just stick with the highs and the neutrals. That's what we stick with over here.
Okay. Well, you know what? I was thinking, okay, black women, white men, we're doing amazing things, right? Okay, how can we get Becky and Tyrone up to speed like us, successful like us? Because really, if they were, we'd be in a better place, right? We'd be more successful as a nation. So I'm thinking, okay, we could build a better black man, okay? And if they're not going to marry black women, this is what we do. Us as white men marry black women, procreate with black women, and then we get the good black men.
There you go. There you
But
go. I'm going to go over that next week. So, yes.
I know people
In
get
depth.
triggered when I say that, but
That's how
and
you make the perfect black man. You need the
and
white
then
man's seed.
hey, we could do it with Becky too. You know, procreate with a white man and get the perfect Becky to build back a better Becky. And you know what? If we went to by the success rates with marriage, because this is funny, but she said, I'm not mamming for black men and Becky. No, but what I'm saying is black women and white men, we procreate, right? We get married, have children. Okay. And if I'm following what I think the best option is, listen to me, right? I told my son, I encourage him to date black women because I think that's the best option, right? So if he listens to me, marries a black woman, how will his kids look? They'll look black, right? And then my daughters, I say, get with the white man. How will their kids look? So it's like the males are from the white seed turning black, and then the females are from the black womb turning white.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's like a reverse effect. It's kind of. But I mean, if everything aligns in the success rate of marriage and we went by that, our kids are going to be biracial, okay? But just think how they would look. I mean, and I don't care how my kids look. I don't. I mean, that I could care less. I just want them to be successful, happy, and be married and have a good family and stuff. I want them to be good people. Okay. And I know I'm joking here, and look, this whole thing, those slides I put together, this is what I see, guys. And you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Okay. When I pulled up that slide, and I'll pull it up again. Okay, fairy tales and magic dust. A lot of this is bullcrap. Okay, there were no scientists 6,600 years ago creating white people. Okay, there's nothing biblical about that crap. God created people. We just have different DNA. Okay, and then the snow bunny crisis. Okay, there again, take the responsibility off black men and blame white women. Okay, because black men are getting with white women, so the snow bunnies are destroying everything. No, it's the men. Okay, it's one thing to have a preference, but when you get your preference and you treat your preference worse than the women in your community, to me that's weird. That don't make sense to me. I have a preference, and look how I treat my preference. Okay, black women are a preference to me, and I treat them very well, with love and respect. Okay. That's why I've been married so long. I treat my wife good. Of course, she treats me good too. But that's how you treat a preference. If that's your preference, but with with the Tyrones, they're doing worse with their preferences. So it makes me wonder: is that really a preference, or maybe it's a lustful preference? Maybe they really want to be with a black woman, but don't know how to. Or maybe they're just greedy and want to be with every group of women there is and make it to where white men can only be with Becky and that's it. But they could be with Becky, Mailing, Maria, and the whole 9 yards, and then come back to black women when they're done. That's what I'm seeing. And I want to talk about one more thing. Okay. And look, ladies, listen to me. You are valuable. Okay. You have so much to offer. Do not sell yourself short, ladies. Your youth, your beauty, your heart, okay, your determination, your character. Don't just give it to anybody, okay? Make sure that man deserves you. Make sure he's a man that deserves you. Because look, black women, you're the best option, but yet black women are settling for the worst option. Seriously. Black women are becoming their mammies and pygmishas, okay? And there's this one woman here, and I'm going to describe a certain type of black woman. And I know black women are going to be mad at me, but I got to do it. And this is what I call the paperless pygmisha, okay? The one that wants to be with the black man so bad, she'll do anything, okay? And she goes paperless. And what you say, what do you mean by that? Well, she'll be the baby's, she'll be the baby's mama, and they'll have kids together, and he'll run about the streets, and whenever he needs a warm place, she's there for him. Um, and through life, she gets used to being the baby's mama or the fiance forever. Okay. And she goes paperless. Marriage is just a piece of paper. She's been duped to think that. Well,
Or I don't mean to cut you off, Brent, again. I'm sorry, but
oh
I
no,
gotta
cut
add
me
on to
off
these things
because I get
because you
long-winded.
bring up so many good points, and I have to add on to it. Or it's marriage was set up by the white man, even though they created marriage. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. And then what's the next one? Oh yeah. We can't get married because the white man is after our money. So I can't. Listen, I believe in feeble-mindedness. I believe at this point, if it's feeble-mindedness, that's what it is. That's my opinion.
Yeah. But, it's like, yeah, well, I don't need a piece of paper to be married. Yeah, you do, because that's responsibility. When he bounces on you, he ain't going to say, well, we're married and, it's just a piece of paper. No, he's going to say, no, we're not married.
And let me add to that too, Britt. And what
Yeah.
black women need to understand is the reason why black men do not want to marry black women is because they do not want any wealth going to black women and children. That's just really what it is. And we've seen that in mainstream, we've seen that throughout history. We've seen what they do when they have large incomes. There has been studies done that once a black male obtains any type of wealth, we've seen what they've done historically. So, I mean, it's just is what it is. And when black women come to that realization that it's because they do not want any wealth coming to black women and children, it's that it will just be a lot better for them to understand it that way.
Yeah. And it's just crazy because I've heard black women say in social media. Heard them say it in the real world. Well, my baby's daddy treats me right. He does things for me, and he changes my tire and works on my. And I'm like, why isn't he your husband? I mean, why would you settle for that? I'm serious. If you're going to give up, your body, your time, and take care of the kids,
Well,
and
Brent, that's a part of the black male worshiping culture. That's a part of it because it's not just black men. The whole entire cult community, it's a cult, it is, will
uh,
encourage that. So I mean, it's just is what it is. I mean, any woman, any black woman in the supposed black community, Blackistan that wants marriage, there's a term called thirsty. That's a term that they call black women that has expectations. um that's what that term is. A black woman that dates out. I mean, they call her a lot of other things. The
yeah,
not pro white male leadership, but a working woman. Those are the type of that is the type of how you call it, reputation you're going to be given in Blackistan if you're expecting marriage. It's just is what it is. It's complete. The only group of people that really does that. I don't. Yeah.
yeah. It's just weird. But Faith Grace said, "No resources in marriage, no womb." Yes, I mean, black women, you need to take a stand. Don't give that man access to your body, to your love, to your emotions if he don't marry you, because he don't love you if he's not going to. And look, marriage don't take years. There, 8-year fiance crap. What is that? It took me 2 months to figure out I want to marry my wife, and I asked her within that time. And we've lasted. May will be 29 years. So it don't take forever. The ones that you're a fiance for, if it's been a year, he ain't gonna marry you. Heck, if
I
it,
mean, I've always said this. I mean, it doesn't take long at all. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, it really doesn't. So I mean, if but I mean, like I said, a lot of it has to do with the conditioning, and black women are so conditioned to accept absolutely nothing and work hard because, like I said, we're not really viewed as humans in the community. We're viewed as labor. That's what we're viewed as. So it just is what it is.
Yeah. And yeah, I gotta agree with you. That's what I see. I mean, um, and then BW says, like Ralph Richard Banks said, give up the fight, black women. And I agree. Look at those. Look at the successful women up there. And look at Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown Jackson. They gave up on black men. And look at who is Serena Williams. Look at Eve. These women are they're opening up their option and they're getting a better result. And the men they're with are millionaire men. They're successful men. Eve married a billionaire. Okay. So that notion that they're going for black women for their money is a lie. Um, you know, so I would say open up your op because look, if a man's not going to step up and if the marriage rate's 27%, we can't pretend that that good black men are all over the place and you just pick one and wrap him up and you live happily ever after. I mean, men in today's society suck, really. They do, of all races, really. So we got to be strategic. um there's a lot of white men that aren't into marriage and stuff running around doing this dusty stuff too. So, but you have a better chance with white men because still there's a lot of us that are traditional where marriage is still built into our culture that still, put women first. That's still in there. We're taught to protect women. Um, not all of us, but it's still there. You still have a better chance. And I would say to women, that's what you got to look at. Because when it comes down to it, okay, the choice you make is going to affect you and your children. And either he's going to provide for you or he's not, or you're going to have to carry the load. And if that's the case, then you might as well just be a single mother because, I mean, yeah, gold digger forever. And that's another thing. Ladies, don't feel guilted because you want a man that makes good money. There's nothing wrong with that. You should want that. That don't make you a gold digger. That just means you want resources. You want you and your family to be taken care of. So don't. I know they'll guilt shame because they ain't got nothing going on. They're not making no money. They're not successful. They want you to contribute because they don't want to have to pull it all on themselves. They don't want to be men. Okay? That 50-50 thing, come on now. Now, in the real world and people that are low income, yeah, both are going to have to work. I'm not hating on people that are in that situation. I understand it. But as a man, you always strive to get better. And you get to a place where you can take care of your wife by yourself. You don't just say, except, oh, well, we both got to work. Burger King's treating me okay. I mean, come on. This is our last stand. Like-minded black women are coming for you, Brad. Do you hear that, Brad? Now, Brad, pull your head out of your butt and man up. And you know what? Go for the most beautiful woman on earth. Okay? You will not be disappointed. Are any extra guests available to come on the panel? I guess we can have Pro White Leadership. You want to bring some guests on if they want to come?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't have any issues with that. It's your show, Brent. I'm just going to change my device real quick.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys can come up if you'd like. By all means. I like having guests. Guests are fun. Yeah, there's the link if you guys want to come up. Yeah, everybody's welcome. Come on up. Now, if I don't recognize you and you're a troll, I'm not taking troll night tonight. So, but yeah, you guys can come up and but seriously, ladies, do not play in these man's hands, okay? There are plenty of men out there, okay? You open up your options, you'll find out that you have more choices than ever. And that's the way it should be, because then guess what? Men in your community, if they want to be with you, are going to have to compete. They're going to have to compete with resources. They're going to have to compete with how they treat you. Okay. And us
That
as
means
men,
they already lost. So
they're they're already lost.
they they already lost.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, we'll have a surrender ceremony and um
Well,
no.
Brent, I already put the video up, so I hope they get the message.
Yeah. But you know, but seriously. Oh, you got two. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, I had
Okay.
to change my device real quick.
I love that picture. You got a nice family.
Thank you, Britt.
Yeah, very beautiful picture. And there she is with her husband and children. Um, yeah. Yeah, please get the thumbs up. But serious, what I'm talking about tonight, look, let's make America great. Okay? Let's open up our options. Oh, Williams loves and learn therapy tips for autism. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. I really do. I thank you very much. Um, yeah, and it's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Um, but I appreciate that. I do very much. Thank you so much. And Faith Grace Becky can have Tyrone. There you go, Becky. Look, hey, we're having a great show. We're helping out. Becky and Tyrone, we're trying to get you guys together. I love seeing Becky and Tyrone together. You know what? It's a beautiful thing. It's oh man, you know what? And black men out there, let me help you get with Becky. Let me help you. Okay, I'm a white man. I grew up in a white neighborhood. I can help you date them and get to know them. And I'll even sell you a book on how to date white women. You know what? Hey, pro white leadership, I should do that. Because there's a lot of black men that love Becky, right?
Absolutely, an ebook.
Yeah, and you know what? They always talk to me about it. They say, I got some slides I'm going to show you guys on the next show of the trolls that come in on me. But they they tell me, they say, hey, well, you can have black women. Let's trade, right? And I'm like, well, that sounds good, but you know what? They're people. Women have, the right to choose who they're with. That it's weird. We can't trade people. That sounds like slavery that you complain a lot about. So we can't do that. Now we can encourage and maybe try to talk them into it. Now if black women and white women got together and say, you know what, let's switch neighborhoods, and they did it on a, in a grand scale, I'd be loving life. I'd be like, you know what, this is awesome. And I think we could all be happy, because black men tell me that they want to be with Becky. I've had so many black men say, you know what, I feel about white women like you do black women. I say, oh, that's wonderful. That's great. I want to see more of that. Look, and and black women, open up your options. If they want to be with Becky or Mei-Ling, let them have it. Serious. You know what I'm saying? People, go with your heart anyway. But hey, welcome, Asia.
Hi, Brent.
Hi, how are you doing? Good to
I'm
see
doing
you.
all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. I just thought I'd make this live, and I think we need to make a national campaign, make America great. Swirl to investment, build back a better Swirl. Look, have I covered it on both sides of the political aisle? I think so. So this can be a bipartisanship getting America, making it better. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, I don't know if I wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
Do you think we're doing Black women that are doing the work a disservice by constantly talking about the ones that aren't?
What do you mean? Like talking about Black women that aren't opening up their options?
Yeah, like, do you think it would be best for us to highlight, the success of the ones that are, like, as far as the ones that are already divested? Like, because there are plenty of channels on the internet as far as interracial marriages,
Yeah.
local channels, and I feel like that would also be positive promotion as opposed to just constantly talking about just basically constantly talking about what they're doing every single day, because to be honest, they're not going to change.
Well, yeah, but I do put positive things out there. I mean, I look at the marriage rates and, but I do talk about this a lot, but I want white men, not just Black women, white men or non-Black men to realize that Black women are out there. And I tell Black women, I know for some it's beating a dead horse, tell them the marriage rates and all this. Some Black women, they're not going to leave Black men for nothing. I mean, it is what it is. But there is success that can be made. And, and we see it. But, we got to talk about what's going on also. And, so it's not all negative. I mean, I know what you're saying.
Well, the thing is that unfortunately, most Black women are in the Black community and they're being told that non-Black men don't want them. They're being told, they're being told lies. So, and then, so I mean, so that's why we come up here and we talk about it to get the message out there, to let Black women know, the ones that don't know, because a lot of them don't know, because if they did, you wouldn't be having these stories in the news. You just had a Black man just unalive his girlfriend and his 2-year-old son, fed him to an alligator. If that's the case, then so we need to get this word out here, because look what's happening. A lot of Black women and children are being unalived by Black men. And most of these Black men, they're in relationships with. And a lot of them are there because of the brainwashing.
I know, but the thing is, y'all don't understand. Some of the level of brainwashing it's not, there's no amount of talking that's going to change it. I'm telling you, some of those women are literally broken beyond repair. And it's just sick, because I guess maybe I'm taking it a little bit personally, because I've had to get rid of family members. And for me, it's hard because it's not easy for me to throw Black women away.
Yeah.
Especially when I know that everything that they're going through isn't their fault, because it started when they were young.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I mean, I don't know what, I see what I see and I hear what I'm told. I don't know it as good as you, obviously. I'm not a Black woman. But what I see outside looking in is Black women are being so mistreated. And I think there's brainwashing there, because and maybe long ago when I was dating, this was years ago, okay? I would approach a Black woman and she would just stop and just look at me like confused, like, what are you doing? You want to do what? You want to do this with me? You want to take me where? And it was like, and this happened quite a bit, and it was like, and it wasn't that a bad thing. She was just shocked that I even approached her. And it's like, gosh, she's so beautiful, but she thinks I don't like her, and it's weird. It's like you got beautiful black women that are doing amazing things, but yet have low self-esteem, thinking nobody likes them. It's sick. It's
That starts from the home. That
Oh.
starts from the home. So like I said, I have to
Yeah.
definitely cover the family dynamics, because a majority of that, it starts from the home. So I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying. I do want to show a positive thing, and maybe I'll just highlight some interracial couples that are doing good things. You got Serena and her husband; they're living a good life. You got Eve with her billionaire husband, and his family accepts her, and it looks pretty amazing.
Right. And I think if we show them enough of that, it'll eventually sink in, because remember, a lot of the programming that they're going on has been repeated. It's been berated and repeated time and time and time and time again, the same messaging. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in, a lot of people are programmed. And so we would almost have to do this like in a programming aspect, where we just do nothing. We do nothing but, well, not nothing but we basically just have a timeline of showing growth, healing, vacations, funny moments, like, just little stuff like that. I think a lot of us take those moments for granted because we're so hell bent on focusing on the extreme negative. And I feel like we do a disservice to those that are doing the work and showing it.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you save them though? I mean, they might see positive things and say, well, that's them. Black women are going to look and say, well, I'm not Serena Williams and I'm not Eve. So what am I going to do? Because that's
like,
how.
What chance do I have, right? Like,
yeah, they'll look, I'm just an everyday person. A lot of us, we look at ourselves like that, and yeah. Somebody asked, do you have a channel, Asia?
Oh, I was typing it back as you were talking. Yeah, no, I'm creating one this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been away for a while just because school and work has just been ridiculous.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm gonna find some time to make, just because I do want to bring just some some glowing positivity to the space and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have positivity. We don't go in on Tyrone every week, but
oh no, I don't care about him. I'm sensitive about the women. Sorry, no, I've only it's literally just about the women.
yeah, and I agree. I want Black women to be uplifted and feel good about themselves. And I show me and my wife, every now and then. I want people to see me and my wife, because we're everyday people. We're up in age. Look, we're middle-aged people, and we got kids and grandkids. And we got married back in '94, and we've been blessed, and I want people to see that blessing. Not just to say, hey, look what we're doing. No, it's to say, look, we're everyday people. We can do this. You can do this, and you can be blessed by it. But yeah, I know what you're saying, and I think what somebody said is showing everyday people, non-famous, interracial marriages that are successful. That would be probably better than showing celebrities, because celebrities, they do what they want. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, not everybody's a world-class tennis player. You know what I mean? It just, yeah. But yeah, I agree with that. But
it's just I see so many like positive, like funny channels, especially like with white men, Black women couples. It's just, I'm just like, man, if only they could see these.
Yeah. Well, they're out there. They can view them all the time.
Yeah.
But I think we need to not just be positive, but get down to the reality of what's going on. And you know, I just want Black women to know that you can go anywhere you want. Men will date you. You look how Asian women have finessed Brad. Think about this. Asian women marry white men more than they marry Asian men. And you know what? Women just walk in there and they'll take Brad and just do their thing without no reason, without no apology, without nothing. They're just doing it. And nobody tells them nothing. I know it's different being a Black woman and white man, that thing. I mean, Asians almost, and I know people are going to get mad at me, but it's almost like two groups of white people dating. I mean, different ethnicities, but, you know, it's a lot more accepted than Black women, white men. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And you want to know why that is?
Years of racism.
I don't know. No, it's about control. There's a huge obsession with wanting to control Black women specifically, and I still to this day can't really figure out why.
Oh, you talking about Black men controlling Black women?
Yes, I noticed that. Yeah. I mean, I don't see other races of men constantly telling like trying to control their women from the aspect that these guys operate from. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Of course, every community has this level of misogyny, but the way it's delivered it's such a huge, I don't know. It's hard for me to pinpoint because I'm still trying to figure it out. But it's just the men operate different.
It is kind of weird because I'll have like Black men come up and say rude things or like they're jealous or something. They feel weird, some kind of weird way because you date a Black woman, and I don't understand that. I've never.
Well, this is what I believe that Black women or Black people, period, don't understand about Black men. What I believe you don't understand is that the reason why Black men are the way they are is because they have to make you believe these things that are not true. They created white people. They built everything. Yeah. That's what it's all about. They know slavery. That's what it really is. And they know none of this stuff is true. They sold us. They had a whole entire business. I did 2 lives on the structure of business and you can and the evidence that Black men played such a big role in slavery. But sitting up telling us as if these men all these other races of men just went to the country and to the continent, I should say, and just took everybody, and that never happened. They created everything. They created white people. You know, it's white men are jealous of them. White men are afraid of them. None of that stuff is true. That's a lie. It's all about control. It's all about controlling you so you can believe these things. And none of the things that everything that I have researched, nothing has been said about what Black men is. Everything in history shows that Black men are the inferior ones. That's what it shows. And they know that. And they will tell you that indirectly if you listen to them speak.
Yep. Every single time.
Hey, welcome, Your Wellness. Says a new sub. Awesome. Welcome to the channel.
Yay.
Yeah. You know, and I put those slides about the fairy tales, the Black scientists that created white people 6,600 years ago. Those are things to feel superior. And look, here's the thing. No one person is superior than the other. I don't believe that. I think what makes you successful is your choices in life, how you go about things, being strategic. The amazing thing is that Black women are doing amazing things. And I try to highlight this. I try to tell Black women, look, you're doing this stuff. And I don't know if you guys caught my show where I was talking about Katherine Johnson, you know, the woman that was a mathematician that worked for NASA, you know, instrumental in the space program. And then I talked about two teenage high school girls that solved a math problem that hadn't been solved in 2,000 years. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And I did a show on that. And the thing of it is Black women are doing amazing things out there, but nobody highlights it. Nobody talks about it.
That was
Yeah,
exactly my point. That was making
yeah,
earlier, is that
but
you would think they wouldn't exist because we're so
yeah,
busy focused on the ones that are the loudest, and the ones that have the most spotlight on them, as opposed to the good. And that's how I know. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, BS going on as far as, you know, just trying to target Black women in that light, because if you see, there's also so many good ones, there's so many of us that are doing well. There's a sinister effort to
yeah.
exclude all of that and not want to, you know, not want to
And
show it.
and the thing about it with the education level, it's like Black women are the most educated. You can't dispute it. And here's the thing, even if they're just the most enrolled or whatever they say, can you let Black women have that? At least they're, you know, bettering themselves. They're look, they're doing more than any group of women with the least amount of resources, but yet you're going to shame Black women, tell them that nobody likes it, and then when she dates out, you're going to call her all this horrible stuff. You know, you're going to call her a bed witch, which there's no plantations around where slavery's going on, so she can't be that. Okay, calling her a race traitor. Well, Black men date and marry out 2 to 3 times what Black women do. So really, you're contradicting yourself. Getting mad at Black women for divesting. Well, Black men divest more than Black women do. So really,
I mean, at the end of the day, it is so normal for Black men to be anti-Black. It's so normal for them to behave that way that it's not normal for Black women to say, okay, we're done, because we've been doing this for thousands of years.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you know, now you have, I call it the new Black woman. That's what I call it. But yeah, so I mean, it's just is what it is, you know?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, we're afraid of our own power.
you are. Yeah, I think so. And I think Black women and Black women are amazing, and they show a lot of humility, and it's good to be humbled, you know. Um, but Black women have so much to offer. I think a lot of times they don't even realize what they have to offer. And I mean, and that's why the marriages with Black women are more successful. And I mean, I look at it and say, wow, white men are more successful with Black women in marriage than white women. And we got to go through more barriers and deal with more crap, but yet we're more successful with Black women. That says something about Black women's character right there.
Right. It's
And
like we almost fear success in a way, you know?
yeah, yeah, and like I said, I it's not unusual for our marriages to last. Look, and and when we talk about it, I'm just like, and I tell people, Black women are a hidden treasure right in front of your face. You walk past her every day, and you don't even know how amazing she is, and she don't even realize how amazing she is. It's like Black women are outpacing their counterparts and settling for less, and white men are out there that want to be with Black women but don't think they have a chance, so they don't even try. So you got, yeah. I mean,
Uh-oh, hold on. I see a troll in the chat.
where is
Be
it?
careful. Yeah.
Can I come up? No, I don't know you.
No.
Who
And with a
are
name
you?
like that,
Why not?
absolutely not.
Why not? I love it. I love trolls.
Mm-mm.
Come on, Brent, let him up, or him, or whoever. Come on, Brent. I know you don't want to do it, but I love this. I
Yeah,
love this.
I'm not in the mood for trolls tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is. If you're not, hey, send me an email. Okay, I just don't recognize the name. Hose mad, yeah, you're a troll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a faithful supporter of this channel. No, you can't come up, but you can listen. Hey, you can listen in the background. You're free to listen. It's free entertainment. Okay. Um,
Yeah, we got to
yeah.
keep the viruses out.
Yeah, I just, sometimes me and pro white leadership, sometimes we like messing with trolls, but I just don't feel like it tonight.
No, I get you. It's just I'm also very careful because just because of the situations I've been hearing happening lately with just a lot of privacy being violated.
Oh,
I take our safety very seriously. So
yeah.
as much as I have fun, I'm about our safety first.
Yeah, and yeah, be very careful. Look, I've got strange things have been happening to me in this YouTube thing. So yeah, be very careful. What is these? Boomquisha Mammy Pygmisha. Oh, okay. What is a boomquisha? Quisha. What is that?
I don't know. I don't really go for it. I'm very careful with those type of names because those just get applied to Black women no matter what. I've been called names for plenty of things, and I do nothing but defend my own my own women, my own Black women.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's
I just haven't seen that term. I was just wondering what it is. But you know what? And every stat I said tonight is true. I've looked it up. I've went through the census. I went through Pew Research. I've looked at data, and anybody can look it up.
She said she's not a troll. She said she'll cam up. So that's what she's saying.
I'd still be careful because you don't know what they could flash across the screen.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that. Honestly, like I get it, but
I don't want to be I don't want a porn drop or something stupid. I think I got a way to stop that, but I've seen it done to people. They come on and they'll show something and I wish YouTube would get a grip on that to stop that. That is.
I'll be honest, a lot of them are allowed. YouTube is complicit. Is very complicit.
Yeah, I think they just, when they catch it, it's too late. They already did it. Yeah. But anyway, no, but I understand what you're saying, Asia. And I do positive videos. I do. I uplift Black women. I did that one on the NASA thing and those two girls. That was nice because, it just highlights what they're doing. And how many news agencies is putting that forward? How many people are showing that on YouTube? I think I'm the only one that showed that story. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen it nowhere else. But but really, ladies, you have so much to offer. And look, on this channel and Asia Pro White Leadership, I've met women that are lawyers, women that are in the medical field, very successful Black women. They're out there all over the place. And we do not highlight this.
Yeah, we don't. I wanted to ask you both, have you heard of a book called, it was written in 2000, published in 2001, called The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Women? Have you, Pro White, have you heard of that book at all?
It's
Oh, you're muted.
Pro-white leadership, you're muted.
Yeah, I just muted myself. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, I haven't heard of it, but I'll look it up. I'll see what it is.
Oh, okay. Actually, I can post the link. Because the thing is, it's on Amazon and of course any other books site. But it's
okay.
literally, it goes down chapter by chapter, everything from starting from. It even talks about hip hop, and I think it also speaks about black men's involvement, heavy involvement in what's going on as well.
Well, that's what my channel is basically all about. So I mean, I've done the research. I mean, so I'm talking about before Christ. I mean, so I mean that's basically what my platform is all about. It's all about the behavioral patterns of black men with other groups of people exploiting black women and children. That's a long history.
Yep.
And it's really and really it's really black men's fault because they're the ones who brought those people there. It's like they do today. What they're doing today is nothing different than what they've been doing. Their behavior has never changed.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, pro-white leadership. You remember when you were doing that show on slavery, and that black guy came up and he says he was going in on slavery and saying white people were and slavery, and then he said, well, you know what? There were Africans that had Caucasian slaves, and he was like proud of that. It was weird. It was like he was saying
That's how black men
was,
are. That's how black men are. They'll sit there, they'll whine and cry. They will sit here and act like they're the victims. Then they'll say something else different. That's how they are.
yeah.
So that wasn't surprise. See, I this is why I don't have an issue with trolls, because trolls will expose themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's all about exposing them and their lies. That's what it's really all about.
Yeah.
For
No,
me.
it
It's
was just
100% psychology. Like I said, I'm a content creator and influencer. I have no issues going on a pro-black channel, knowing that there's black men there, because I know how these men work. I know how they operate. I know what they're going to say. I know what to say to. I know how to manipulate them to say what so I'm not worried about it.
Oh no, I understand it. I definitely understand from that aspect, because I mean we do want these people to be outed. It's just that I've become so concerned.
That's
the only thing. I just come from a place of just being concerned about our safety.
Yeah, I just don't feel like messing with the trolls. Last one came up recording me. I got this guy recording me and trying to come on my shows and stuff, and I mean,
that's dangerous.
It's crazy because he went on that show, right, where I was talking about the black girls doing amazing things, and he came up and then he started talking about riots and Antifa, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta take you down. I can't have you on the platform. You're getting us away from the conversation. So he's like, wait a minute. Then he made a video saying I stepped up to Roadrunner, and it was just dumb. It just didn't make sense. It was weird. Yeah, but
basically just coming to get attention from causing havoc.
Well, what they do is they take your videos, and what they'll do is they'll show them on their channel, and they're trying to build their platform. They're smaller channels, and they're trying to get you. A lot of times they'll try to get you in an internet beef with them. And they'll a lot of times try to go at the big channels, and try to get clout that way. But a lot of those channels, they don't have no creativity. They don't do they don't do nothing. They're just showing other people's stuff, and I'm not against doing a reaction video. but it's just, that's all they do is just show other people's stuff over and over and over. It's just weird. And but be careful, because I've gotten strange calls on a phone number I didn't give out to nobody. It's weird. And I will say this, guys, if you do give out a phone number, there are Google numbers you can give that are not traceable. You can be in California and you can get a New York number and they'll think it's a New York number. And if they give you problems, you just get rid of the number. That's it. It's very nice for you.
Yeah, I have a spam caller. I have a spam caller detector on my devices. So, well, on my phone. And anytime a number that's not like registered for that I don't have, or it's not, registered, as far as to a public business, it immediately goes to potential spam, and it assesses the risk.
Oh, okay.
So it'll let you know it'll let you know if it's a high risk call, like it's potential scam, potential spam. It'll let you know if it's low risk, and you can decide if you want to take that call or not, or just completely block it.
Yeah, but that's good. But yeah, to have some kind of safety net, because I don't know. YouTube, they're just weird people. Now, will they go that extreme to look where you live? Well, they have done it. So be on your guard. But yeah. But anyway, tonight my message is let's promote people opening up their options. Whether you want to do it or not, that's up to you. Okay. You do what's best for you. But ladies, you have an option. Guys, you have options. Okay. There have been so many, and here's the crazy thing. Black women and white men have a problem giving each other a chance. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I have through the years. It's like, I don't know. It's like they put a barrier that don't need to be there. Like I said, when I was dating, black women be shocked that I even talked to them. Like, and back in the day, it wasn't as common as it is now. But I'd have to figure out whether she's interested or not for a minute to get her out of the shock that I approached her. And maybe it's because I don't know. When I talked about an investor and I explained what that is a non-black man that loves black women, but does not try to change himself. He's not caught up in the black culture, so to say. He's just who he is. He's just an everyday guy. That's me.
And honestly, those are the best men. Just, men who don't have an agenda. They just come as is,
Yeah. And they'll have a preference for a black woman, but it's they want a relationship. They want marriage. They don't want to see what it's like, or, they just, have a preference. And there's nothing wrong with the preference. As long, have a preference, do it, but treat her right. That's all it is. And I've been told through the years, you don't look like the type of guy to date black women. I never would have thought you married a black woman. Well, what does this guy look like? Do I have to be a certain way? Look a certain way? No.
Oh, yes. When you ask questions, the foolish looks on their faces.
Yeah. It is. And here's another thing I don't like that black women and white men do. When you're dating each other, don't explain why you're with them.
Yes.
That's none of your business. You don't need permission from Tyrone. And white guys, you darn sure don't need permission from Becky. You're with her because you love her. And same thing, ladies, you don't have to explain anything. But we do that. Do we not? I've done that in the past. Well, she treats me good. She does it. I explain every awesome thing about my wife when I don't need to tell them a dang thing. And just like, hey, this is who I love. Like it or not, this is my life. But we do that. I've noticed that.
We're not taught we are I noticed that on both sides. We are heavily conditioned to be the foundation of everything.
Yeah, we are. And look, when we date and marry out, I think it scares people. I really do, because I've seen it in my family. I've seen, I've had cousins date black men and nobody cares. But when I married my wife, it's like, oh, why are you doing that? What's going on? It's like, really? You give them
Right.
but not us. It's weird. Um, my mom and dad, they didn't care. They were okay with it. But like my uncles and cousins, they were just freaked out.
Yep. Oh,
But
your wellness. I agree. She said people can't take too much power.
yeah, and we're the power couple. We really are. And I've talked about this, and I've talked about my kids, me and my wife and our kids, and my brother-in-law and his kids, because my brother-in-law has an interracial family, and I do too. And our kids are doing so much better. And it's not just in our family area, but it's like across the board. If you do the stats, they've done studies on this. And black women and white men's kids do much better in school. They're more stable. And there's always an exception to the rule, but usually black women and white men have so much more success, not just in the marriage, but with the family. Financially, we do better too. It's just amazing. And maybe it's because we're conditioned, maybe because we're, the foundation of our communities, that when we get together, it's like we're doing the work on both sides, and we don't have our counterpart that's waiting for us to do something. We're just doing it. We're hitting the ground running. It's yeah, it's amazing. And I look at numbers and I look at stats and I'm like, wow. I knew I had a successful marriage with my wife, but I didn't think it was, you know, successful across the board with black women and white men like it is. And I've seen failed relationships with black women and white men. They're out there. But statistically, they do better than any other group. And ladies, you should look at that. That says a lot about black women. You go through a lot of abuse to be with the man you're with, and you have so much character to make it work. That's amazing. To me, that should be, black women should be lifted up and praised for that. That's, your degrees, you should be praised for that. You shouldn't have to, people shouldn't go in on you on that. That's showing character. That's showing you're trying to do better. Shouldn't we all be trying to do better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it blows my mind. What are we doing? Her degree means something. Yes, I would marry my wife if she had a degree or not, but I do give her praise for that. It is important. It shows her character. It shows she worked for it. She made it happen. And black women are doing this in impoverished neighborhoods, getting their degrees and moving up the chain, moving up the ladder.
Yes. And the thing is, those black males usually do target, and I this is something I caught as a teenager. Mm-hmm. They target the youngest. They target the youngest and the most susceptible to mold. That's why they like. Oh gosh, I hate even saying this. This is going to piss me off. But that's why a lot of them will circle high schools. Mm. A lot of them will circle middle schools. I understand.
Oh my God.
I can tell. If you don't mind, I would like to share a story. So when I was in middle school, I had two really beautiful friends. Like they were black girls, twins, and I swear they look like models.
Mhm.
But the thing is, they were tall and very overdeveloped for their age. And I think we were 12 or 13 at the time. And I
Uh-huh.
remember we were literally in our uniforms in front of the school, and these two grown men, Black, came up to us and just started, literally tried to like talk to us as if we were grown.
Like you're grown women trying to hit on you.
Yeah, like, oh my God, you're so
Oh,
fine. You're so fine. And me being overprotective of my friends, I was actually smaller than they were. And I stepped up, I said, wait a minute, no, they're 12. What are you doing? And so immediately, because I said it so loud, they said, oh, I'm sorry. We didn't know. And just that split moment said a lot for me as a kid. I couldn't understand it. I'm like, it's very clear that we're in uniform. We're standing in front of the building that says such and such middle school. So how did you not think that we were children?
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty sick. I mean, wow.
Well, I don't want to cut you guys off, but I'm gonna have to step down because it's getting late and I have somewhere I have to be on the field at 8 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So Brent, thank you so much for having me up. I'm still gonna be watching, but I really do have to start getting ready to go to bed. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's actually 10 o'clock where I'm at. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be up much longer, but thank you for coming on. It's always good talking to you. And you know, you're welcome here anytime. And check out her channel, Pro White Male Leadership. She's got a good channel. She really researches data and stuff. And yeah. But I thank you, young lady, for coming up. And you have a good night. And I'll see you soon.
absolutely. Thank you, Brent, once again. And I will be going live next week on the night, date to be determined. It will
Okay.
not be a public live. It will only be private, unlisted. I just wanted
Oh, okay.
everybody to know that.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
All right.
All right. It's
Okay,
very
enjoy.
Have a good
okay.
night.
Have a good
Good
night. And thank
night.
you for coming on.
No
And
problem.
it's nice talking to you as usual. Um, yeah, but I'm sorry to hear that. That just wow. I mean, you could do damage to girls that young. I mean, middle school, high school's too young. I mean, wow, but middle school,
Yeah,
man,
I'm telling you,
that is sick.
the message gets sent very, very early, and that's unfortunately why a lot of a lot of people would say that some of the promiscuousness that you see is them acting out that abuse.
Well, you know what? I've heard a woman doctor say, and I don't know if this is true. I'm not a physician or nothing, but I was watching TV and I heard a woman doctor say that women that are, uh, abused sexually or, assaulted, that they either do one or two things, and it's devastating to them psychologically. Um, and it's so horrible that she was saying that a lot of women, and she wasn't talking specific race, she was just saying women in general. What they'll do is they'll either be very skittish when it comes to being intimate, even when they get married to their husbands. It'll be traumatizing. It's hard for them to be intimate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some get like that, and then others, they'll be very promiscuous, like they'll be very sexually active. And I don't know if that's true, but that's what I was hearing. And there's been a couple people that tell me that that is true, that they either go one way or the other with it. But they're both traumatized, but they handled it a different way. And maybe some, they've been traumatized, but they see sex as love, and it's not. It's just sexual, it's a part of love, which it should be within marriage, but it's not love. And a lot of people don't understand that. And when you've been abused, sometimes I think it just warps the mind. It just some people handle it differently, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I
But
think what it is because we're heavily promoted sexually, but we're berated mentally, physically, and in many other ways. Like the thing is, they'll berate us for our smarts. They'll berate us for everything that has to do with being a productive, well-rounded human being.
yeah.
They beat down on, but the sexualized aspect has always been front and center.
Hmm.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of those women will flock to that,
Uh-huh.
because it's like, oh well, this is the light that I'm being promoted in, so this is the only lane for me, so kind of thing. Especially when it comes to artists, a lot of them feel like that's the only lane they can be in because that's the only lane that's usually promoted to them.
Yeah, and maybe it's some way when, even though it's berating to be sexualized like that,
Yeah.
maybe it's because some women think that, well, it's something positive. They feel it's positive, which it's not, but they might see it like that, like they're getting attention because of it. Hey there, Lady T, how's it going?
Hey, Lady T.
Hello. Hey, Brent.
Hey,
Hey,
how are you
Asia.
doing?
How are
It's
you
good to
guys
see you.
doing?
Oh, we're doing
Oh
okay.
man. spilling our guts and healing one day at a time.
Yeah, I was just talking earlier. I showed some slides. I was talking about opening up our options and making America great. And we've just been talking about, things black women, what they go through. And, I'm not an expert on that. I learn, but we're talking about how, they're over sexualized. And, we're talking about how, women react. And I was explaining how, I heard on TV a doctor explain that women that are, you know, essayed, is that, I'm trying to be respectful on YouTube, but how they deal with that. Some will be skittish and can't get intimate even with married, and some get promiscuous. Just kind of, we're just talking about that. But, and it's sad. It's, and just going into that, I mean, black women are the least protected, and we need to protect them. I mean, it just is a sad thing. But anyway, I just want to promote, interracial relationships. I do it all the time. I think we would be better in society if black women and white men open up their options more often. I think we would be better off. I do. I think our marriage rates would be better across the board. And, I look at the stats, and black women and white men have the most successful marriages. And that's
So,
the way,
Brent, can I ask you a question?
yes.
So, what do you say to the women who may say, I know you advocate for Black women to date out and for white men to date Black women?
Yeah.
I'm totally all for that. But what do you say to the Black woman who may ask, is there a reason why? I want to ask it in a way where I'm not leading.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask this question. Do you
Okay.
think that because of how Black women position themselves in society in regards to social issues, that it holds us, and I use us very loosely, back when it comes to dating men of other races.
I think Black women are held back from that, just how Black women have been raised. And I think it's, a pro male, they say pro black male worship, right? We hear that. I think there's some truth to that. I think Black men are lifted up in the community, and Black women, give them praise. They put them on a pedestal. Kind of like what we do to white women, right?
Right.
And
So let me give you an example.
okay.
So we all know in our current society, in our current landscape, we're a very hyper political time. We probably are more hyper political now than we've ever been in my lifetime, right?
Yeah, I
We
agree
have
with
flaming liberals, we have uber conservatives,
that. Uh-huh.
and by and large, Black women have made themselves the face of the extreme left movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, and I want your opinion, that has hurt Black women when it comes to dating. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm a conservative woman. I'm not middle, I'm not independent, I am conservative, both
Okay.
fiscally and socially.
Yeah.
I find that when I'm dating or when I'm engaging with white men, the first thing they say, oh my God, I can't believe I met a gorgeous conservative woman who is also Black. They don't ever find that combination.
You know what? I I'm glad you said that, because there is a misleading conception. Yeah, Black people generally vote left. I mean, it is what it is. But there are so many Black women that are conservative. There are. My wife is highly conservative. She's
I'm going to push back on that. I
They
think
don't
Black
promote
women,
the conservative ones, because I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of things that I'm not into, and people try to pretend like I either don't exist or I'm some kind of alien.
Mhm.
I'm saying this, Brent.
Okay.
I know that Black women are conservative, but they don't tend to vote that way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, my wife votes that way. She's far right.
Right. I vote that way too, but I do know I'm the minority when it comes to
Yeah,
Black women.
yeah, and you are. And but what's amazing is a lot of Black women that vote Democratic, for the left, really have conservative values. And
I've been saying that
yeah,
Black women vote against their own self-interest, because if you ask them a list of questions and they answer it honestly, they're conservative or at
yeah,
least moderate, but
yeah,
they'll go and vote liberal.
yeah. My mother-in-law was like that. I mean, she's very traditional, married, so many conservative values, but she votes left. And I was like, okay, why do you? And me and my wife would be like, okay, why are you voting this way? You don't believe in what you're doing. And I think, and maybe it was different time, different space and time she grew up in. I don't know. I think a lot of Black women think there's a racial element to being conservative.
I do, and I'm glad you said that. I was hoping you'd
Yeah.
say that. I do think Black women, by and large, vote on behalf of Black men. And because they've been programmed that conservatives are the quote unquote racist party, they think they're doing a service by voting liberal when they're actually just voting against their own self-interest. I will say that most conservative men, regardless of their race, who are really family oriented and really want a woman to date exclusively and be with, tend to lean conservative. Even most liberal white women are not married, extreme liberal white women. So for when I hear Black women say, oh, I want a family, I want this, but they vote liberal and they do everything liberal minded, it kind of flies in the face of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. I see it all the time. But yeah, they believe there's a racial element, and there's not. I'm just conservative because I believe in conservative values. I believe in family. I believe in, being fiscally conservative. We need to budget our money better. Our morals have gone down the tubes. And honestly, a lot of conservative people are married interracially. A lot of conservative Black women are married to white men. They're all over the place. And I mean, there's liberals too married
Right.
interracially.
I'm
But
totally agreeing with you. That's why I said most conservative, men, want conservative leaning women. And because Black women vote by and large liberal,
yeah.
I think that keeps Black women from being in these relationships more so than anything. That's just what I feel.
Yeah. And I think conservatives should stop doing social wars like Democrats. Yeah. You know what I don't like about politics? This is what I really hate, is when people throw a race issue in it. It just pollutes the whole thing. It's, I wish we were at a point where if you want to be on the left or the right, you choose your path and we just go with it. But that's politics, and politics is dirty.
Yeah, politics is a part of life now. I mean, we can't get around it. There used to be a time when people didn't care where you were, like Democrat, Republican. People didn't care. People got married across political lines, dated. But now, because we're so polarized, it does make a difference. I wouldn't date a liberal man. I just wouldn't. I know that we would be so far removed from each other, I won't even attempt it.
Yeah, it would be conflict there.
Yes, but 10, 15 years ago, it would not have been a problem.
It would, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it was. Well, I mean, I think people say we're a central right country, but I think we're center left now. I mean, it used to be that way. I look at the past, and I look at our the Democrat Party was more conservative back then than it is now. You look
Correct. Correct. I agree with you. I'm a Clinton Democrat. I voted for Clinton. What, in 96? Was it 96?
Yeah, he went with the Republicans on the balance the budget, and that's what made him
right. But back then, Democrats didn't mean liberal, right? Democrats believed in supporting the police. They believed in crime, law and order. They believed if you did the crime, you do the time. They believed that men are men, women are women. That's what Democrats believed when I was a Democrat.
Yeah, it's shifted. Yeah, I just, there's some things I can't just get down with. The defund the police thing, that to me is so stupid. Yeah, we have wrongful death shootings. I get it. Yeah, I mean, but you got to have somebody on the street because crime is not going to go away.
Right. And it's not going away, and it's also getting worse. And for Black women to be the number one callers of 911, I just think, like I said, it's contradictory for them to be the face of defunding the police. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because they don't see? Do you think it's because they see even less? I guess it's because they're waiting for some kind of legislation to happen. Like, are they waiting for like Republicans to show support before we
show support of what?
I don't know, show support of their safety or anything like that? I guess because a lot of those women feel like they have no choice but to put up with what they're going through. They just rinse, cycle, and repeat, unfortunately.
Going through with whom?
No, I'm talking about Black women.
You're saying put up with what? What are they putting up with?
Huh?
You said put up with.
Yeah, they put up with the BS that liberals give them.
What are liberals? I thought you were talking about the police. Okay, so you're saying.
Oh, okay.
No, I was talking about as far as voting.
Oh, you're saying that Black women feel like they don't have a choice.
Yes. Do those, like, are they voting that way because they feel like they don't have a choice, because they don't see anything coming from the other side, I guess, because they don't see anything coming from Republicans?
Well, I would the argument I would pose is what are liberals doing?
Nothing. That's the thing. They're just doing the default because they feel like they're not getting it from either side. So it's just like, oh, it's that mindset of they don't see better anywhere else, so they're just repeating this. It's just rinse, cycle,
Right. So
repeat.
it's insanity. They're just doing the
It's
same thing,
yeah,
hoping for a different result.
programming.
But what they don't understand is if only 30% of Black women pulled their vote away, it would send a message that my vote is just not built into the Liberal Party, right?
Right.
And I think the liberals take Black people, specifically Black women, for granted. They don't do anything because you're going to vote for them anyway.
Yeah, I've been saying that we shouldn't vote. I've been saying that we should hold, like,
Well, I'm not going to say a person shouldn't vote. I'm not going to say that because,
for
you know,
policy,
I
think
vote
we
because,
should.
look, I care what percentage of my taxes go where. And I'm not just, when I say vote, I'm not just talking about the president. I know when people hear vote, they think about the president. I'm talking about local. I'm talking about my senator. I'm talking about everything from my HOA president up. I'm going to vote.
Yeah, and you should, especially in the lower.
Right. Those local elections are more impactful to your lives. And I make sure I vote in those gubernatorial and you know, elections and things like that. I make sure I vote in those.
Yeah, I do too. In the local elections, you know, who is my congressman in my district? Yeah, get to know who that is.
Right. Get to know your mayor. When my mayor was running, I sent him a message on Facebook Messenger and I said, hey, what are you going to do about this? And I just threw him a message. Within minutes, he was calling me. He said, I'd be glad to come to your house and discuss it. He was at my house within an hour discussing his policies, all from a message on Facebook. So I get to know the people who want my vote.
Yeah. And you know what? And here's the thing about politicians. And this is the crazy thing. I think a lot of politicians are corrupt on both sides. I know they are, because they go to Washington making what, 150, 200,000, and then come back millionaires. How does that work? What are they doing? I mean, there's so much kickbacks and money. I mean, it's crazy. I think the president makes what, 400,000 or something. It's a lot of money, but it's not rich. I mean, you know, the senator, the congressman, they're only making maybe 200,000 now. I don't know.
But $200,000 is a lot of money when your health insurance is government funded, your security is government funded, your vehicle is government funded. You know, when you get all of those extra stipends to pay for all the stuff you need, that is a lot of money. Because if I didn't have to pay a mortgage, I didn't have to pay car, blah, 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 my salary would go a lot further.
You're right. And 200,000 is a lot of money. I agree. I don't make no 200,000. That
I know I don't.
You know, but what I'm saying is you get 200,000, but you come back a millionaire. That's the thing that gets, you know, because they're not making it off their salary as working for the people in their, you know, up in Washington. They're not. But I mean, that's the way it is, but it just seems corrupt to me.
It is corrupt, but that's what we got. That's the system of democracy we have today.
Yeah.
So we have to just work within the confines of it. It's not perfect, but I'm going to vote on what's best for me and the people in my immediate circle. I don't vote based on race because not every Black person is on the same level socially, politically, physically, mentally, spiritually. So we all shouldn't be voting the same because we all don't have the same interests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you're supposed to do. You know, and you know, yeah, I mean, that's what we're supposed to do, is vote who we think is going to do the best job. Yeah, they're corrupt. Politicians are corrupt, but it's a system we got. It's better than a dictatorship.
I mean, we can go to Russia under Putin.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we have. We do have the power to vote these people in and out. Unfortunately, most people who run are business people, right? They're looking for the bottom line. But I always feel like you have to have some type of money to run anyway, whether you crowdfund it or have it, So people who run, there is some financial ability to run for an office anyway.
I got a thing. I know we're getting into politics, but Faith Grace says Republicans have to offer policies to Black women for them to. Oh, Lady T dropped off. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Let me put the link back up there. Lady T, you could come back up. I don't know what happened. I'll put the link back up.
oh, to respond to Faith. Yeah. Oh, you just took it away. Faith's comment.
Oh yeah, where Republicans have to offer policies to Black women for them to. Oh, there she is. Okay, good. Hey, Lady T, sorry about
Sorry,
that.
I got dropped. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I didn't drop you. I don't know. Sometimes StreamYards does it. But yeah, Faith Grace said something about Republicans have to offer policies to Black women for them to leave Democrats.
What did Democrats offer Black women for them to be Democrat?
Nothing.
Well,
But my thing is that they've been in it for so long. Again, this is a situation of the boiling pot. They've been sitting in it for so long. For them to jump out, they would. Yeah, the thing is again, it's rinse, cycle, and repeat. They're going with it because they're not seeing anything different.
Well, I feel like Black women have to think about what's best for them. And again, all Black women are not the same. What's important to me may not be important to the next Black woman. Taxes are important to me. Safety is important to me, right? I like police on my block, right? I don't feel harassed with police on my block, right?
Yeah.
I like well manicured parks. Parks and recreation is important to me. Roads and infrastructure is important to me. Who you give your building permits to is important to me because I don't want a Walmart down the street for me lowering my property value. So some things important to me, they may not be important to the next Black woman. So I vote on what's important to me. What I have found living in both blue areas and red areas throughout my life is that my quality of life is better when I do live in a conservative run area.
Yeah.
My taxes are lower. It's safer. Crime rate is very low. Politicians are more accessible, right? I can ping them, call them, email them. They're very responsive. If I have an issue, they're very responsive. I just feel like for what I am passionate about, they have been the party for me as opposed to liberals.
Yeah, I agree. And look, where my father lived, it's heavy left, heavy blue, you might say. Where I live, it's red. We're more conservative. We're a newer neighborhood. Yeah, we make more money, but we pay a heck of a lot more. I mean, gosh, I remember when back in the day when me and my wife Sandy, our kids were young, tax time was awesome. But I was in the Army. I was the only one that was working. So we got money back. But now, oh man, I hate tax day. I mean, I had to give the federal government $4,000. And the state, I had to give them $1,000. I'm like, really? Of course, we've moved up tax brackets, but we're not
But
rich.
we all know the liberals are the spending party, right? They'll tax you into oblivion, but you don't get anything. Most blue leaning cities tend to be higher in crime, tend to be not a very good quality of life. They have dirty water. We can go on. And that's just things that I don't encounter living in conservative areas.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right. And I don't mean to offend the left, but it just seems like
I don't care about offending. I just look, as someone who's been on both sides, I'm just speaking from my experience. But to get back to the point, I don't want to get too far into politics. That's my thing. Everyone is not into politics like me. But my
I don't
original point is that because Black women lean so far to the left, that most, and Brent, you can correct me, most white men tend to lean to the right.
Yeah, well, I'd say
Well, let
it's
me say this: most
it's
white
half
men
and
who are
half.
worth dating, marrying,
Oh
being with
yeah.
tend to be
Okay.
conservative.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. But saying most lean left or right, actually, most white people lean left. It's more of an even balance than the Black community, but still, we're outnumbered on the conservative side. We really
Do you
are.
think that's for men?
Yeah, I think so.
You think most white men lean liberal?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's more men that lean right than women. I believe that to be true, but on a number scale, yeah. And maybe it's just where I live. I live in a blue state. I mean, New Mexico's
Same.
liberal. Oh, she dropped off again. Dang it. StreamYard, stop it. Lady T, come on back. I don't know what happened. I apologize.
And StreamYard has actually been a mess lately.
Yeah, it's like, I'm so sorry, Lady T. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard.
I'm sorry.
But if it happens, I'll keep putting the link. Yeah. But yeah, I do think that. I think conservatives are outnumbered. I do. The reasons we have power, I think, and I know people on the left are going to be not agree with me on this, but I think on the left they mess up enough that we're able to get back in power. But maybe it's because of the state I live in. I live in a real liberal state. I mean, where I live in my community, it's more conservative. It's a newer neighborhood. We're upper middle class. People that live where I live, we're, in the 100,000s and above. I'm like at 150, which is totally awesome, but I do have a retirement also. I've worked hard for that. But we tend to be more conservative and physically, because when you start making money, and my father always told me, he says, you like tax day, but wait till you start making good money. You're going to hate it, and you're going to be mad at the government taking your money and what they're doing with it. And you know what? He's right. Some of the stuff our government spends money on is ridiculous. I mean, they got stuff that they're doing research on shrimp on treadmills and, breeding effects on field mice and stupid stuff like that. I'm not lying, guys. Our tax dollars are going for stupid stuff like that.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
That could be a blind spot as to why, because I know there's not a lot of us making a whole bunch of money to be taxed at certain rates. So is that a blind spot that could be there as well?
I don't know.
Blind spot for who? Because I know it, because I'm in that tax bracket and we get taxed to oblivion.
As far as the women that aren't making it, like as far as me, for example, I know I don't make over $100,000. I'm in the building process right now, just getting back on my feet. I've had some mental breakdowns lately, but as far as just getting back on my feet and pushing myself to eventually get to that, I know that's a blind spot for me. So that's why I just like to ask questions.
Yeah, they tax, the more you make, the more they tax you, and I think it's ridiculous, because I'm for a flat tax. We all pay a same percentage, right? And if we did that, when you make more, you would pay more, but they don't do that. You're going to pay a bigger percentage, and then you're going to have other taxes because you fall into a new tax bracket, and it's like,
the more money you make, the more money they take. I get it. I mean, people think if you're in a certain income, oh, you make all this money. No, you just pay all those taxes and you fight like hell to get all of these tax breaks and exemptions, so you don't have to pay all these taxes.
Yeah, I think that's why there should be more open conversations with both. I think both people of different parties should have open conversations with each other about, like, look, this is what I'm paying. This is what I'm paying on this side, and this is what you're not seeing because you don't make as much. And I think if we were more so educated, if we were more so, maybe I guess I get it. Nobody is obligated to care, but I think if more so, if they were able to know that or learn that some kind of way,
Yeah.
and maybe that would help. I don't know. I'm just kind of giving out.
Someone once told me the more money you make, the more conservative you become. And I think that's true for a lot of people. Because when I was younger, I was Democrat, right? I was making $40,000 a year. So I was like, yeah, there should be social programs. Yeah, I don't care. Take my tax dollars. Yeah, because I wasn't paying that much in taxes.
Yeah.
But as you get older and you start making real money and you start buying property and you start paying property taxes, you're like, okay, now where's my money going again? And you start to be more mindful and you're like, no, I don't want this program. Like, no, I don't think this, because you're realizing who's footing the bill.
Yeah. Well, and every year my property tax goes up. For some reason, they need more money. And I tell you, the thing with property, the bigger the house, the bigger the property, the more taxes you're going to pay. I live in a modest house. I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage. It's nothing huge. It's a good size, but it's just me and my wife, Sandy, and my youngest daughter. My other 2 kids are moved out. But I could get a bigger house. I can afford a bigger house, but then my taxes go up higher. And then, to heat the house costs more. So people got to put that in perspective. I like a little house. I don't need nothing big. And it's comfortable for me and my wife. In fact, we don't use the whole house because we can't. What are we going to do? But it's nice when the kids come visit. We have bedrooms they can sleep in. But yeah, I mean, when you see where your money goes and you really look at it, it makes you mad because there's so much waste in our government.
Right. And you become more politically aware. You start to question your politicians more. I know I did. You start to ask these questions in forums like, why are we paying for this? Even with the HOA, I'm like, why didn't we have Christmas decorations at our entrance at the subdivision? We pay this much in HOA fees. Like, you start tracking down every penny that leaves your account.
You do. And yeah. And
yeah, I'm sorry.
I got a niece that's on welfare and they got 2 phones and a tablet from the government. I'm like, wow, who's paying for that?
You're paying for it. I'm paying for it. We're all paying for it.
And that's the thing. And I think economically, people pick sides on the right and left because people on assistance that don't make much money, they want more stuff from the government. They want,
Right. And they'll keep voting for the party that they feel like is giving them their stuff. But the party that's not voting for it is the one that's footing the bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the thing is, I didn't realize it was such a difference in this intricate, because I'm still learning, honestly. I just read and research as much as I can as I go along, but there's still so much that I don't know. So I just ask questions as much as I can.
Yeah. And you should, get to know what goes on. Get to know your senator, your congressman. What do they believe? Who's running? I mean, and look, I vote. I do it biblically, okay, according to who fits the Bible better. And I know they're both corrupt, right? I vote on taxes. Where's that money going? Social programs are great and everything, but that costs money. And the more we get, the more we're going to pay. And I'm not against programs helping people that are low income, give helping them get a degree and bettering themselves. I'm all for that.
And that's what we did as a Democrat. I remember when Bill Clinton and see, I'm a politics nerd, so you have to stop me because I'll go crazy on politics. Bill Clinton implemented the welfare to work program.
Yeah.
And there was an incentive for people to go to work to receive their welfare. More people came off welfare on that program than ever before. Because what they realize is that if you give people the means to get a job, they'll work. But if you just hand them a check, they'll take that too.
Yeah, and it's human nature. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay, and I don't play the lotto, but if I did win it, you know, $100 million or whatever the jackpot is or whatever, if I won all that money, you think I would be working? I'm going to be honest. I would be lazy. I would probably be taking more vacations, but I wouldn't really be productive. And I'm being honest with myself. What keeps me working, what keeps me productive is I have a house. I have, you know, stuff I want to do. I like going out to eat, buying my wife gifts, you know, having fun.
Right.
There's a standard of living I enjoy. So,
right. And that's why we work. We want to keep up a standard of living that we have. I mean, if you give us all 100 million, we'll all quit working, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, that's nature. These people who telling you they work because they love to work, they're lying. You're working because you need the money.
Right. Yeah. But that's true. And look, if I won all that money, I wouldn't be productive. But I think God keeps me where I'm at to keep me productive, and being productive keeps me healthy. I go to work, I'm moving around, you know, I'm up in age, so I got to watch my weight and diet and all that, but it keeps me going. It keeps my health in balance. Now, if you give me a big check and I'm sitting at home, guess what? I'm probably going to get fat, lazy, and, you know, and I don't want to say that about myself, but I'm being honest. And most of us are that way. It's human nature to take the easy way out. It is. And a lot of people get caught up in the system, you know, with welfare and government assistance, that a lot of people stay there when they got potential to do a lot better. You know, they really do. But
I'm sorry to take y'all to politics. I shouldn't have gone there, but I was trying to make a point and then it just ballooned into something else. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you're good.
No, I learned a lot actually. Just listening.
Hey, I enjoy drifting. You know what? I went there with you, and if I would have had a problem, I say, you know what, Lady T, let's stop and get back to the point. But you know what?
But I still don't agree with you, Brent, that most white men are liberal. I just don't. I can't see that.
Okay.
Now, if you're putting white women in the mix, then we could probably debate that. But
wait. I think
I just can't see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the chat can correct me. I don't know. But
I will say this: most conservatives are white men, but there are more white men liberals than conservative. I will say that. Now, is it a big slant? No, it's pretty even, but I think the liberals still edge us out. I'm just saying. That's what I think. I'd have to dig into the stats to really find out the truth. But look, I've been raised in a liberal Democrat family. Look, most of my family's left, and maybe that's why I believe that. My grandfather, my uncles, they're big union people, right? And I have a union too, but but even that, they were more conservative. They're like almost like Reagan Democrats, you might say. They're Democrats.
Right. And I'm in the South, so of course, majority of people white people I know are conservative. So
Yeah.
maybe
So,
that's just why I feel that way.
yeah.
And maybe it's an age thing. I would say, okay, let's go 18 to 25. Could probably say the majority of white men 18 to 25 probably lean liberal. I can go there.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is, just where we live. I'm in a highly left leaning state.
Same.
And I'm like in a sea of blue, and I'm that little red dot floating around. That's how I feel. You know?
Brent, I think you got other people up. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh yeah. Hey, Corey and Butters, good to see you. How's it going?
Nice to meet y'all.
Yeah. How's it going?
Doing good.
Doing good, Corey?
Yeah, I finished up watching an Asian movie that had subtitles. I didn't even see the notification.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, we've been on for a little bit. I didn't expect to go this long, but it's all good. We drifted. We went from Making America Great, Swirl to investment. That was kind of political, so I guess maybe we didn't drift too much.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about politics left and right, taxes, where our money goes. So, and I don't mind drifting. Look, I mean, this is I'm enjoying the conversation. And you guys
Who
know
is this
me.
guy? Is this guy Corey?
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah,
Hey, Corey, how are you? I'm Lady T.
Oh, how you doing?
Hi. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Where do you lean politically, fiscally, and socially?
Well, I live on the West Coast, and
Oh, God.
Oh God.
yeah, I'm very conservative. I've been back and forth from Oregon to Alaska. The biggest thing about living over here, we call it the left coast because it's left leaning.
Mm-hmm.
You just let people be people unless they get in your business, and then you tell them to mind their own business. But
So are you fiscally conservative but socially liberal?
yeah, because what somebody wants to do with their life, you're not going to stop them from doing it. So why fight
How many genders do you think there are?
it? Two.
I just wanted to ask.
Not
You
fine.
know.
I'll be very blunt. Go ahead. It's all right.
Corey, do you think most white men lean conservative or liberal?
It depends on their age because when you're young, I think
See,
you're more
when you're
liberal.
young, you're liberal, right?
And when you get older and you realize how everything works, it
When you
starts
pay
to change.
taxes. See, Brent, I was just telling you that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you get older, you realize where all the money's going. And it's like,
Exactly.
well, why the hell am I
Yeah,
paying for these people that don't want to do something?
You got a point. I you know what? You got a good point. It is
Fiscally conservative comes with maturity, and immature people think it just grows on trees.
Yeah.
It don't.
Yeah, somebody said the voting age should be raised. I agree.
I believe that. I do believe, because I was voting at 18. I didn't know what I was voting for.
Yeah.
Well, I come from a very conservative family, so in fact, some people might even call it prudish. But it's crazy to grow up in that atmosphere and still have an understanding that people will do what they want and leave them alone. And if they try to get in your business, just say, "Hey, you don't belong here." And if they want to argue, just walk off. If they grab a hold of you, knock them out.
Okay.
Well, I mean, from where I grew up, I mean, if somebody puts their hands on you because they want to
Well, yeah,
basically
that's
yell at you, well, then they got it
that's
coming.
a threat there.
Well, I mean, it cuts me all day, but don't touch me while you do it. It's just those are old school rules there.
Yeah.
I don't. Who's Butters? Is Butters a man or a woman?
Hey, Butters.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you. Welcome to the panel.
Yeah, I had to wait for my device to charge up and everything because I wanted to come in.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, so I'm just I'm losing my place here because I'm kind of multitasking. So I'm just gonna follow the flow of the conversation because I totally forgot everything I wanted to say.
Oh, okay. Well, if you remember, just jump in. Um,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
awesome.
yeah. But it's good to see you, Butters. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, yeah. So, you go ahead and talk amongst yourself.
Okay. All right. Where were we at? Um,
Last time I heard it was genders.
oh yeah, yeah. There's how many now? 148. No, I'm just.
No, when I was a kid, we called that pretending.
Hey, here's the thing on gender, right? Why are we debating this? I mean, you're either a man or a woman, seriously.
Brent,
And,
that old saying, you never argue with stupid because they'll drag you down to their level
I,
and beat you up.
I don't know where we ever got there. And what's this crap of trans men competing with women? I'm totally against that. Come on now.
I'm not going to say anything because I'll take us again down the road that we don't need to go. So I'm not going to comment on the whole
Yeah,
gender thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm
have you
just
seen
saying
all the
because
states that are making it illegal?
I'm in one of those states, thankfully.
Awesome.
they should because look, it's not fair because the body structure and especially like they had some dude in the MMA or something fighting a woman. Like really? I mean, you have more upper body strength, you have more punching power.
When it
Like you
comes to those types of subjects, I'm proud to say I'm a conservative and we do not support that shit.
yeah,
Right.
and I agree.
Exactly.
That's going too far. That's ridiculous. And if we're
Hmm.
going to protect women, what are we doing?
I tell you, if I was a
I'd
woman,
like to
I wouldn't even
Go
go
ahead.
into the ring with him.
um, I'd like to jump in here
Yeah,
really quick on that sentiment. I am one of the people who believes that yeah, there are exceptions to rules. There are women who can beat men and things like that and everything. That's great.
yeah,
However, by and large, women themselves on their own were able to carve up a portion of equity with their abilities that basically benefits and fits their particular life experiences as biological women. Men, by and large, throughout history, have basically squashed those spaces. I'm just saying the truth, right? Whenever women wanted to basically do healthcare, they were called witches. Um, so I feel as though those trans women who are biologically male, they're just repeating history by invading in our space
yeah,
because we're trying to do something. We're trying to engage and take advantage of our upward mobility. We're trying to take advantage of our potential, right? Um, just like the whole black women follow black women thing on what's that app?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right, right. As a group on our own, we're trying to create a safe space for us to develop something, to create something that serves our community as women. And I feel as though men who basically try to worm their way into that, I'm sorry, but you're not invited to the party because you have a special advantage compared to us, even as trans men.
yes,
You know? Yeah.
Well, yeah, the bones are heavier, the muscles are bigger. Um, the trans, whatever you call them, they had the benefits
Yeah.
of having the best physical everything when they were young and then decide to be female later, which takes me back to Bruce Jenner. They made him
Oh
Woman of the
God.
Year, never had a menstrual cycle, never had cramps, never gone through any of these things. And they made him
Never
Woman of the
given
Year.
birth.
Now, if women suffer different things in life, and if you've never suffered them, you're not qualified.
Yeah, I might be controversial by saying this, but I honestly don't. I don't really accept it at all. As far,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Am I like, I'm not like transphobic or anything like that. For me, I just don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to speak up because I don't either. I don't play that. Look, if you're born with a
I had one
penis,
of
you're a
those.
male. You're born with a vagina, you're a
I
female. If
feel
you
like
feel like
I feel
different,
like a
that's
lot of
your
that,
feelings.
yeah, I feel like a lot of that is body dysmorphia, and they don't want to say it.
Right, it's
Exactly.
body dysmorphia. Some of it is borderline multiple personality disorder. This I'm them, I'm they. If you got more than one person that you feel like from day to day, baby, we've always known that. But that's called multiple personality disorder.
Yep. And loathing the
Once
body that you have is that's literally what it is.
Right. And it's
Mm.
also
I
normal
love
to go through that during puberty where we're uncomfortable in our own body. That don't mean we cut the parts off.
Yeah.
I'd like to jump in here really quick. Um, well, I have a cousin who was born with both genitalia, but has a uterus, has the ability to give birth, but was born with both. I guess you could say they're kind of like a hermaphrodite. There's no such thing as a perfect hermaphrodite, but I have a cousin who was born in that. I will say that I do have sympathy for people in that unique situation because you see
Yeah,
the thing,
those are
especially with
hermaphrodites.
dating.
Hermaphrodites aren't new, right? I have an
Right.
uncle that's in his 70s. That's a hermaphrodite. Uncle, whatever he
Right.
goes by. So
Well,
that's not anything new, and we
but
No,
make exceptions for those people. But we're
Yeah.
talking about
actually,
people who are clearly born with a swinging penis.
mhm.
no. Actually, in reality, and socially, we actually don't because most humans don't want to spend the time to understand anything. If you are a hermaphrodite and you're going on a date, and some ignorant person who you're basically giving a chance to seize that on you and
Who's
basically
gonna see
gets
that on the first
angry.
date? I don't want to see anybody's genitalia on the first date.
No, I didn't say first date, but what I'm saying is that if an ignorant person, right, basically sees that or hears about that, they may just on impulse attack you, especially if they're male. On impulse, they might think it's their job to literally eliminate you because they may convince themselves that they're doing God a favor. They're doing the right thing. Just like one of the presidents of Uganda, he actually said that if there are such people, it is our responsibility as God's children to correct that.
Okay, I
Okay.
don't know what's
So,
going on in Uganda, but I will
Hey,
say
no, what
here
I'm
in the
saying,
US, I have
hey,
not heard of hermaphrodites getting attacked on dates because they have both genitals.
I would say this. Yeah. I think we're
that's
drifting
the
into
point.
something.
But the point is that you haven't heard of it. The
Yeah.
point is that these births are very rare. Their life experiences are practically
Right, but these people
ignored and
are a minority
unknown.
in our society, right? They're very, very
Exactly,
few. And I'm
and that's why
sure
they deserve
there's very,
equal
very few.
protection.
And I've never heard of hermaphrodites trying to compete in these like I think
No,
two totally
I
different
think
things.
no. I think you're basically drawing conclusions that I haven't even spoken of yet. What I'm trying to say is that the reception that they get from the wider
Okay.
society based on pre-drawn conclusions puts them in danger, right? Just like
Yeah.
Black men have pre-drawn conclusions about Black women that they meet right off the rip, right? So that's what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, they do need protection because they're in the minority, just
Well,
like
yeah.
minorities need protections because, well, you don't have as much representation. You're a minority. That's
Yeah.
just the reality.
Hey,
So
That's
let's.
what
what I
kind of
mean.
I really want to go here, Brent, because I want to know, what do they need? What do we're talking about hermaphrodites because that's what you were talking about. What do they
Okay.
Right.
need?
They need social awareness. That's what they need.
Okay,
Just
so
like
what
white men
does
need
that look
social
like? What
awareness
does
for
that
black
look like?
women.
What does that look like?
That
Oh
means
gosh, this is not gonna go
that
well.
means that people understand that those births do exist.
Right. And I'm look, I don't know anyone that
That's
does not
the
know
first
that
one.
hermaphrodites exist.
There are a lot of people who don't.
Well
I mean,
then,
just ask
I mean,
anybody.
Okay, then I
Yeah,
think that might be a topic
I
for
think.
another day. I think we should kind of get back to us.
I'm not trying to get off the subject. I'm trying to draw a parallel
Um,
between minorities and women of color and just women in general. The point is that everybody has the right to carve a space that serves their interests. And I agree with that. But people encroaching in on each other's spaces, that I don't agree with.
yeah. Look, yeah, let's move on. Look, people that are born that way, we should protect them, right? They can't help it. I have nothing against people that have that. It just they're born that way. Okay. We're talking about trans people that choose, like, they're a man and want to be a woman and compete in women's sports. I have a problem with that because
Mhm.
it's unfair. It's not right to women because they work all their life. They're athletes, they do things, and they should compete against women, not a guy, not a man that says, hey, I want to be a woman and compete. That ain't right. But people that are born a certain way, yeah, we should protect them. You can't help how you're born. And
correct.
yeah,
I understand. Right. That's
yeah,
why the Special Olympics exist, right? It gives
yeah,
people with limited physical and mental capacity to be able to compete amongst each other. So I feel like if trans people want to compete, they can create a league for their own.
yeah, the trans league. Yeah. And if
They
Exactly.
they
should
want to
compete
compete,
against each
hey,
other.
yeah,
Absolutely.
in their own group and leave women alone. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense, and it's fair, and it's not discriminating against them, showing them hate. It's just like, hey, you're in this group, okay? You're
Well,
you're
yeah, they
you're
said they want to
guys that,
divide the
yeah,
genders, let them compete against
yeah,
each other.
yeah. You are a group of guys that decided to be women, so compete with each other. It's fair, right?
Yeah, it
Women are
is.
born women; they compete with women. Men compete with men. That's
I don't know
fair.
if you guys know it, but do you know the Greek goddess Aphrodite?
Yes,
She's a hermaphrodite.
I know.
Oh, oh,
That's
okay.
something that people don't even mention really like that either.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's can we
They
drift
worship all
somewhere
kinds of
else?
things.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I mean, wow, we've really covered a lot of stuff today. This is educational, guys. I mean, I'm enjoying the conversation, but um
Hmm.
anyway, let's open up our options. That was the original thing.
Yeah, but I'm not into hermaphrodite, so we got to move on from there.
Well, I
I
don't
want to
mean
be
open up
I
your
want to be
options
the
for
only one
that.
in the bedroom with a penis. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
Brent doesn't know where to go with this conversation at this
Yeah,
Sorry,
point.
Brent, but
you're
now
taking me.
I'm kind of having fun on that one there.
Yeah, I'm being taken places I didn't think I'd be going tonight. But,
Well, that's the
yeah,
whole point of divestment, isn't it? To go to where you haven't ventured before.
well, yeah, and
Well,
look,
I'm not that adventurous. I'm just gonna exit stage left.
um, your wellness. I got a question. Fire away, your wellness. What what's the question?
Brent,
What? Please don't put me on the spot.
I know your face is red.
It is. Should I cam up?
You don't have to. I can hear it in your voice.
But like, oh man. But
Hmm.
no, but seriously, I actually what I wanted to talk about the show is, look, I promote um opening up our options. And I came up with the term swirl to investment because that's really who I am and that's what I support. Look, I mean, why are so many white men? Okay, here's a question. Hey, if you guys have a question, please put in caps because I have a one track mind and I miss things. Um, she says,
Can
why
she
are
come up? Your wellness, can you come up? Because I really want you to elaborate. It sounds interesting.
yeah, she could your wellness, you could come up if you like. Um,
I think, Brent, you've actually covered this before.
what's that? Why are so many white men hesitate with expressing themselves to black women? Um,
I think what it is she's like, why don't they approach? That is that the question?
could be. Gosh, Lady T dropped off again. StreamYards don't.
What is going on?
Yeah, there she is.
It's a
Hey,
busy
Lady T.
weekend.
That was my fault. I was trying to read wellness
Oh, okay.
chat because I wanted her to elaborate. Does she mean when approaching in a relationship? I need more details.
I think that's
Um,
it. I think she's asking about why they hesitant to walk, like, because I see the second one where she says that she's used to the directness from those dudes. You can't.
yeah. Let me
Yeah.
explain this. Yes. Here's the thing: white men are not as aggressive as black men. We're just not. Okay, it's even when we're with Becky, we're not like that. It's a cultural thing. Okay. And if a white man don't just come up to you like a black man does, it's not that he don't like you. It's just not in our culture to do that. We go a roundabout way. We kind of, how can I say this?
White guys are looking for that inviting smile.
Yeah, we work our way in. We kind of see where you're at. It's like we kind of, it's just in our culture. We just
Well,
not, we don't just go up and say, "Hey, baby," Well,
in,
some white
in
guys do, but it's rare.
in the white
Um,
culture, if a white man walks up and acts like that, he's going to get ostracized by the other men.
yeah, and he's probably
And-
going to get slapped.
Well, because I mean, he's acting like an absolute player.
Yeah,
White guys don't move like that. Some do, but
yeah.
you don't want your family
Um,
around them because
that's what it is. It's not. Look, white men love black women, and some of them take their time approaching. Um,
Mhm.
what I tell white men is, look, and coming from my experience back in the day, I found out I was more successful with black women when I just approached and just went for it. Now, here's the thing, white men, you're not a black man. You can't approach like a black man can because a black woman will kick you to the curb if you do this. Okay?
Mhm.
Because she already thinks you're kind of weird and a fetishizer, okay? She's been told that. So no, I'm serious. I'm being serious.
No,
So
I heard you.
yeah, you approach with confidence, but not arrogance, okay?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
You have some humility to you. You tell her she's beautiful and you want to get to know her. I call it be aggressive with love and respect. Okay? Be on your best behavior, say nice things, compliment her, not her body shape, and don't tell her she's got a nice butt. That'll get you nowhere. Just tell her she's beautiful. Okay? And don't go in there and talking about her how you like black women. Don't do that. Okay? Just focus on her as a woman and you're interested in her. Now if she asks you, do
Especially if
you
you compare
yeah,
her to other women. Like, you're beautiful for a black woman.
no, don't
Oh,
say
yeah,
that.
you never say that.
No, don't say that. If she asks you, she says, "Will you like black women?" You could say, "I think black women are beautiful." I mean, but just say, and that can be kind of a trap type thing. Oh, so you just want to be with black women? Uh, I mean, I've seen it. Like, just say you think women are beautiful, and looking at you, I know you're a black woman, but you're just so beautiful. And I wasn't thinking you're black. I just think you're beautiful. I want to get to know you.
No, Brent, don't say that. Don't no no
Don't say
no
that.
no,
Okay,
Brent,
Don't
don't
say
say that.
that.
Please don't. Y'all, Brent been at the dating game for about 30 years.
Yeah. Hey,
That
you
was
know
actually
what?
good.
Hey,
That was good.
you guys are
Oh, wow.
you know the last date I went on was in 1994.
Yeah,
Some of you might
no.
not even been born yet.
Mine was
Because if a man walks up to me, any man, oh, I know you're black, but I think you're beautiful. Oh no, it's not going to end well.
No, I'm not saying like
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I think you're
you gotta
misunderstanding.
be smooth and charming about it. I mean,
I think you're misunderstanding. If she asks you, "Do you like black women?" What
First of all, black women should never ask that.
they
Yeah.
should,
I
but what
would-
I'm
You should
saying,
never ask a man because, listen, black women, the only race of men who do not like you because you're black are black men. White men like beautiful women. They
Thank
like
you.
attractive women, regardless of race.
Yep, exactly.
Y'all have to get that through your head. If a white man is coming on to you, hitting on you, he likes you.
uh-oh.
yeah.
I think the scariest type of black men to actually date are the ones who only see you as a political accessory. For example, hoteps, who basically have black women behind them simply because, they're trying to prove a point. They're using you as a human billboard or something like that to prove a point.
You're asking, can I drop? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut.
No, I jumped in. You go on ahead.
No, it's, I was being asked to drop the link and stop the hate speech with black women. It's in my community page. Let me see if I can cut and paste it from here. But if you look at my community page, it's in there, that link. I've signed it. I've posted it. But let me see what I can do here.
Brett, all the black
Yes.
women over here are married. They're all wearing wedding rings. I don't even get a chance to flirt.
Oh, how do you see the wedding rings? They're not cammed up.
I'm talking about here where I
Know
live.
where he lives.
Oh, where he lives. I thought you were talking about the women on the panel. I'm just like,
No, not the panel.
No,
In
sir.
my daily walking through the town or whatever I do.
yeah.
First thing I look for is a wedding ring. And then I'm just like, oh dang.
Yeah, but black men actually corner the market when it comes to objectifying women. And it's so strange. We're so used to seeing that. That's the norm. So we don't hold them to account. We just say, oh, that's just how they are. But everybody else we hold to a higher standard. That is so weird.
Yeah.
I tell black women all the time that I've met more black men who quote unquote don't date black women than white men who don't date black women.
Get over it.
I've worked with a lot of white guys, and when we talk about beautiful black women, every one of them, their voice changes an octave and goes deeper, and they're like, mm-hmm. And that's usually the common occurrence. Whether they have the nerve to approach and talk to is well, like I said before, we're waiting for that smile, that inviting smile, because that's like, okay, come talk to me. But if you don't smile to him, if a white guy's staring at you and you don't smile at him, that's like like it's a green light to smile at the guy that you want to approach or want him to approach you. If you don't want him to approach you, don't smile. But if you're looking at him wondering if he's going to, and you haven't smiled, that's actually on you.
Well, let me say something about that, Corey. Look,
if he's ugly, don't smile.
Listen, Corey.
It's simple.
Y'all white guys got to quit with this smile. I'm waiting on a smile.
No,
Look,
you don't smile.
listen, we're not clowns. We don't have this permanent smile. Sometimes women are just in their resting face, just out being normal. And you may think a woman isn't into you because she's not smiling like a damn clown.
Can you imagine just us walking around cheesing?
They,
Right.
they did a study of how many men see beautiful women of every nationality, every race, background, whatever. And men only approach 1 in 40.
Mm.
Wow.
They're way
What I'm
when
saying is,
when it
and
comes
I'm
to
going to
white
say
men.
this too. Listen, some people don't walk around smiling like that. That's a white woman thing, Corey.
No, I said smile at the one that looks good to you. You want him
Oh,
to
so you
approach.
want us to? Okay, so you want eye
You don't
contact with the
smile at
smile.
everybody. You don't smile
Oh
at
yeah.
everybody.
Okay, so Corey,
Right.
I see you across the room. I look at you, give you eye contact, and smile. What's your next move?
Well, then I'm going to come up and tease all the Beckys in the room. I'm going to say they're all jealous of you because you're beautiful.
No, don't do that.
Exactly. What is wrong with these men?
No.
Brent, you need new people.
This is good.
Right.
Oh
What's
my
the matter?
He
gosh.
gotta be. I know he playing it. I can hear the
Brent, you
sarcasm.
need new people.
Okay, well,
I was talking
look,
about all the white
what
women.
you
The white women are staring at you because you're looking at a white guy. I watch The Room. You know, I watch the whole room. I can't, and if I see a bunch of white women making a black woman nervous, I know what's going on. It's because they're jealous.
The thing that
Oh,
frightens me the most is when white guys who have black guys as friends ask black guys for
oh yeah.
permission.
There ain't enough
I
black people
hate
over
that.
here to have black friends. It's just,
Never ask a black man for permission to date some unrelated black woman unless he's her father or her brother, at least, out of common courtesy, but just go for it anyway.
I'm not going to date a white man that feels like he has to ask a black man for permission for anything.
I don't
Yeah.
ask
Yes,
Yeah,
nobody.
that's
ma'am.
right. That's you know what?
Nobody.
Yeah, you don't ask permission. And look, white guys, hey, that's a good point. Do not take advice on dating black women from black men. Don't do that. He's just going, that's not, unless you're really close, but even then, nah, I wouldn't do
Uh-oh.
it.
Brent, you see that? I'm going to have
What?
to buy a microphone now. I'm going to have to buy a mic like what you got.
Oh,
Corey,
yeah.
the ladies are saying they can't hear you, Corey. They want to hear what you're saying.
One like this. Hey, this microphone is awesome. This is,
Does this
yeah.
help?
Okay.
Is this better?
Corey, are you trying to sound sexy for the ladies? Is that what it is?
No.
He
This is
already
my
has a
voice.
soothing voice.
This is my voice.
He has that what is it they used to call the late night music quiet storm voice?
Quiet.
Mm.
Yeah, ladies, this is Corey. Let me tell you, let me
Kind of
tell you
has that
about
smooth
me.
Bob Ross vibe going that I love so much.
Hey, guys, when you walk up to a black woman, say, "You're a beautiful black woman," and Becky is jealous.
See, the thing is, we can laugh about this because we don't feel anyway. Like we don't. This is not an ego boost. We're clowning the fact that they have to do this in order. Just come on.
You know what? Here's the thing, guys. I think if you're just genuine and you approach, I think that goes a long ways. Because look, I'm not no Don Juan. I don't have no smooth words. I don't have the soothing voice, and I just don't. I'm just an everyday guy. And when I approached my wife, and I was trembling and stuttering and looking goofy as hell, she thought it was cute, and she accepted me. So sometimes just being yourself, even if it's goofy, it works. It's
Brent.
How are
genuine.
we coming along on that book, Brent?
Huh?
Are we starting to write about the book about your love story with Sandy?
You know what? This is what I want to do. I haven't started, but I want to I do want to write like a book, and I want to do it as like a history. I want to do like an ebook and write a book and tell my story of, dating interracially and then marrying my wife, Sandy, and going into our life story. And I would like to do that. That way, like our grandkids will know about us. It's kind of like a historical documentary, you know, and maybe our great grandkids will say, "Wow, that's our great grandparents. He was white and she's black. You know, no wonder we got a a brown complexion or whatever. You know, it tells the story about its family, its legacy, its history. I
I
would
love
like to,
that word, legacy.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I want to do. And I mean, I'm not a good writer or nothing like that, but I do want to write some stuff down and just, if nothing else, like a historical thing for my family. I think that would be
Corey,
good.
I think this is your opportunity to
Yeah.
jump in here. Be a ghostwriter for Brent.
So, Corey, the ladies in the chat want to know if you're single.
Yes, I'm 52, 5'10", fastly approaching 180.
52, 5'10", 180.
Mhm.
What's your career? What do you do for your work, your career?
Multiple things. At the moment, I work for UPS. I write books. I have a small business.
Okay. And you're on the West Coast?
Yes, Southern Oregon, Southwest Oregon.
All right, ladies, there you go. He just put his profile out there.
There you go. And wait, there's a call coming in. We have one caller,
Brett.
and she's calling from Florida. Yes.
Florida.
No, I just.
Been meaning to drop in over there.
Hey, you never know. Yeah, but I think we covered everything tonight, and and how to approach black women.
How
Or
not to. How not to approach.
How not to. Okay, and that was the plan, guys. See, I was testing you. I was telling you how not to. Okay, you guys did good, and yeah, but seriously, I haven't been dating 30 years. You're right. 94, no, 93 was my last date, and that was with my wife Sandy. So I don't even know. If people ask me advice on dating, well, you better go back in history. I'll tell you what it was like back in the day. How's that? Today, I don't have a clue. And that's a blessing, because you know what? My date night is with my wife. So that's
Them are the
and
best date nights.
yeah. So, and she don't care what I say, as long as I tell her I love her, and don't fall in the shower and bleed all over the place like I did the other
Good
night.
Lord,
But
yeah.
God.
Scare her bad enough to say, "You want to pass out? I'll knock you."
Well,
Marriage date sounds so amazing.
but oh wow, your wellness says I was born in 93. LOL. Yeah, there you go. So
93.
you know how long I've been out of the dating scene.
I haven't dated since 1990.
Oh wow.
Well, because of the previous marriage. But
Oh
even then, I mean, I haven't dated going on 4 years now.
wow.
Well, there ain't no black women over here. I mean, they are, but they're married. So
Well, what about Seattle? I hear up there's a lot of black women, and they're in the interracial dating over there. Big
yeah,
time.
but that's like
I hear.
8 and 9 hours north.
Yeah. Well, Los Angeles. Look, when I was young in
That's
my
even
early,
farther.
oh my God. No, but seriously, it was more acceptable. It seemed like it was easier. And maybe because there's more people. I don't know.
Well, the
I was
West
just
Coast has a more of a free spirit over here.
They do. Yeah, and
Just
I was in seventh heaven over there. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it depends on where you're at. I mean, interracial dating is going on in every state.
Mhm.
Some places it's more of a norm. More people do it. Some places you see it all the time. Some places hardly ever. You know.
I'm actually right in between all of that liberal stuff because it's pretty conservative here in the town I live in. So
Yeah. What The smaller, more rural areas tend to be more conservative. I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm more of a rural type area.
Hmm.
I live in a city, but I don't live in the city. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I live out. If you see where I live in the desert, literally. I mean, we hear coyotes in the morning and stuff. I mean, yeah, but it's nice. We're away from everything.
You hear coyotes because they're chasing the roadrunner.
Yeah. Well, we got roadrunners. Hey,
Sorry, Brett, I had to.
you laugh, but I see roadrunners all the time. They're native out here. They're all over. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I see them. And here's the thing. Did you know roadrunners? It's a bird that can fly but don't. Very rarely does. Um, it mates with one female its whole life.
Aw.
Yeah, they do. They stay together their whole life. They don't. It's they'll even the male will help the female build the nest for when they have babies and stuff, and they stay together their whole life. They don't mate with other roadrunners. They're pretty much it's like a marriage, and that's why I picked that the roadrunner as my channel name. Number one, it's my state bird. It represents where I come from. Okay, it represents being with one mate your whole life. Like I'm married to my wife. One wife for life, right? It just represents so much about me and my channel, and it explains where I'm from. It explains my marriage. There's meaning in it. I didn't just say, "Hey, Roadrunner is a cool name. Let's go." No, it's actually there's meaning behind it. Yeah, but they're a unique bird. They really are. They're really neat. And the crazy thing, another thing they call them roadrunners is they run down a path. They actually follow a path or a road. That's why they call them roadrunners. And they're really fast. They stay on their feet. They can fly. And they usually do that to get away from predators. They also eat rattlesnakes. I didn't know if you knew that. It's a
Wow,
carnivorous, huh?
Oh no, I was saying I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do. They eat rattlesnakes. They eat lizards, bugs. They're yeah. But yeah, there'll be a group of them that get around a rattlesnake and will peck at them at the back of their head and just they're amazingly fast too. I mean, a snake can strike at them and they can pull away without getting bit. They're really, they're amazing.
Rattlesnakes can only strike half the length of their body, so when you see them all stretched out, you know how far their strike range is.
Yeah, and that's how you get them. If they're coiled up, get away because. But if they're laying on their back, yeah, you can walk up to them. I mean, here's the thing about rattlesnakes. People don't. I think a lot of people don't understand. Rattlesnakes aren't aggressive. They're not going to just come out and bite you. Usually, they try to get away from you. Where people get bit is when they walk up on them and startle them. That's usually when people get bit. But they
you get that one genius that'll cut a head off and then they'll reach down and try to pick the head up.
Oh no, don't do that. They
can bite you a half an hour after their head's been cut off.
They can, and that's what they do. Yeah, don't ever do that. Yeah, a rattlesnake, they will bite you after their head's cut off. Yes. It's some kind of instinct.
I hate to interrupt, but I gotta drop, and I didn't want to drop without saying bye.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Why are we talking about rattlesnakes?
We're talking about roadrunners. Coyotes chasing roadrunners.
Yeah. But hey, thanks, Lady T, for coming on.
Thank you, panel. Thanks, everyone.
Yes,
Brent, great live. This is one I like when I take you all off subject, Brent. I think those are your best lives.
I think so too. And I enjoyed going all over the place. I really did. We had a good discussion. And yeah, you guys, thank you for coming on. I'm going to close this.
Good night, panel.
Good night,
Good
Lady
night.
Good night,
T.
Lady T.
Night, night.
Good night, Lady T. Yeah, I'm going to close this, guys. We've been on for 3 hours and 14
Yeah, I
minutes.
gotta make my way off too.
But
Yeah.
hey, I enjoyed this. Hey, ladies, Corey, I enjoyed this. This was a good discussion. You know, you guys had a lot of good points, and you know, and we covered some stuff, and nobody was disrespectful or got angry, and we just had a good time. And I enjoyed the laughing, you know, and just talking to you guys. I had a good time. This was awesome. Yeah, we drifted, but you know what? Sometimes it's nice to just come on and talk. And you know, but I enjoy you guys. Thank you for coming on. And I'll go ahead and let you guys say a final word before I close. And then, you know, we'll have a good night the rest of the night. And I'll see you guys probably in a week, probably Friday. You know, I got to work all week, and I'm on double secret probation from my wife. I got to get rest. But anyway, I'll go around. I'll start with Asia, and then Butters, then Corey, and then we'll close. So,
All right. It was very. I'm so glad you let me on this panel. I'm honestly loving, you know, where the conversations are going, and I actually love the fact that we can flow from one topic to another. It's actually more my conversational style anyway when I'm with my friends. So I do like it. So I learned a lot today. I did, especially like even though we got off into politics for a while, I soaked in a lot of information that is definitely going to make me do more research for sure, as far as taxes and as far as just becoming more politically oriented, because I'm still new, so I'm still learning so much as I go along.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it. You know, regardless of what party you go with, learn about it and what they're doing. And yeah, I mean, there's politics is something. I think it's like a necessary evil in a way. You know, politicians are corrupt, but we have to have a government. We have to have, you know, we do. I mean, we got to run our country some way. But I'd rather have politicians doing it than a dictator just telling us what he wants us to do. You know, so. But yeah. But yeah, and I appreciate your input, Asia. You know, you had a lot of good points and stuff, and you know what you're saying. I'm going to take in consideration because you're right. We do need to have some positivity. We need to show Black women how amazing they are, and not just celebrity Black women. Okay, you're right, and I love how you hit that point, and that's really awesome. But
yeah, we got to do a little bit of programming. I think if they see it enough, it'll register after a while.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's, you know, getting the best option for you. You know, Black women, white men. You know, do yourself a favor. Open up your options. Get to know each other. I tell Black women and white men all the time, give each other a chance. Get to know each other. You know. You never know who you'll meet. I mean, be cautious. There's, you know, there's good and bad in every group. Just always keep that in mind. Okay. But anyway, but I thank you so much, Asia. I appreciate you coming on, and you're welcome here at any time.
Thank you so much. And Corey, it was definitely nice talking to you. Butters, you as well. I'm going to bid you all a good night.
Thanks so much.
Night. Thanks again.
I appreciate it. All right, Butters, young lady.
Well, there's something I was contemplating as the conversation was flowing, and to me, it's all about the character behind the positions and the beliefs that we hold. If I see a guy is willing to shed grace on me, but is not willing to shed grace on his other neighbor, that's basically going to sound alarms bells inside of my head as a person who is a survivor of mental and physical abuse.
Yeah.
So I don't care what political persuasion you're from, really.
Yeah.
What I care about is your character. And that's what keeps me up at night when I'm dealing with the opposite sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree. And let me say this. I don't care what political party you belong to, if you're right or left. You're welcome here. I don't discriminate on that. I'll tell you what I believe, but that's me. You have a right to believe how you want to. And I just want to make that clear because I don't want anybody to feel, okay, well, I'm on the left. I can't talk. No, it's not like that at all. Okay. Everybody has a
Mhm.
seat here. Okay.
Like it's okay
This
to
ain't,
have righteous indignation, but you know, and have a position and have standards, and that's
yeah.
fine. But I draw the line off at emulating the behavior of my enemies, meaning the people who basically want to abuse me because they get some sort of uh, their reward centers in their brain gets tickled every single time they see me in agony. You know
Mm.
what I mean? If I
Yeah.
emulate their behavior, then that to me is a red flag going off in my head that I'm not doing my due diligence as a human being.
Mm.
Yeah. Very good point. Very good. Yeah.
With that, I'll say good night. Love you guys. Mwah,
Good
mwah.
night,
All
Butters.
right. Big love to you too, Butters. Thank you so much for coming on. It's good talking to you, and you're welcome here anytime.
Give
Good
my love
talking
to
to you.
Sandy.
Oh, I
Bye.
sure will. Thank you so much. All right. All right, Mr. Corey, Mr. Smooth. What you got, buddy?
Well, I think I'm
Smooth
gonna have to get a
operator, you.
microphone like you got.
Oh yeah. Well.
Well, because even when you use the headphones, your voice it changes your voice.
It does, and I would rather use the microphone because the voice sounds better. I don't have the best voice anyway, so the microphone helps me
Well, it's
out.
more about clarity.
Yeah, it is more clear because the
Yeah,
headphones. It's kind of like a, how can I say this? Like a radio sound kind of
yeah, that's
voice.
like Howard Cosell.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I use that because if my wife and daughter are watching TV, because the living room's right by the studio, so I just do that to drown out the noise, so you're not hearing the background noise. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
because
if you got that incoming outside
yeah,
disturbance, it's gonna
it's
mess with
got
you.
noise canceling, so it drowns out the
Now,
background noise.
can
Yeah.
you wear your headphones and not use the mic on the headphones and just use the one on the desk?
This one I do have a set. I can do that where I can hear and use this mic. Yeah, I can do that.
Hmm.
And I'll probably start doing that more often. But I have to charge those up. They're wireless. They're really nice.
Yeah,
Um, and
that's
they
the
have
ones
a
I use with
microphone
wireless.
in it, but I can do it to this micro. This microphone sounds better.
It
And then if
does.
I have the headphones to drown out the noise, then yeah. So that's
Yeah,
probably the
Neil at a
combination.
PLM, she said that she had a hard time hearing my voice, and I'm like, oh, well. And I
Yeah,
have gone back and listened to the previous, lives and stuff, and sometimes my voice does get low,
yeah,
but I think a lot of it is just because I'm really relaxed when I'm on the channel, and so it just drops.
yeah. I think so. You just relax and you just talk. And sometimes when you're relaxed, the voice goes down because I mean, I'll do that too. When I'm hyper, I'm loud, and sometimes my wife will say, "Are you okay? What are you doing? Why are you yelling?" I'm not yelling. I'm just, but it kind of
Just
sounds like
speaking in
I
a
am.
voice that everybody can hear me.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. But
That's what it is.
yeah, but anyway, Corey, it's good to see you, brother. I'm glad you came on, and
Yeah.
I hope all is well in Oregon. How's the weather? Is it getting nice now?
Oh, Oregon's funny. We will go from the winter and the rain,
Uh
and then
huh.
the next day it just switches over to 80 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, it just like somebody flicked a light switch, and then you're caught in all the humidity. And for Oregon, we're not used to the humidity, and so you're just like breathing heavy for a month.
Mm,
But then
yeah.
it dries out and it stays dry, so it's not bad.
It's getting warm here. I'm starting to love it. It's just, well, New Mexico's weird too. Last week we had snow. We went from 30 to 70. It was weird. It's like we're getting all four seasons in a few days. It was just crazy.
That's almost like Oregon, but we have trees and you have cactus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
All
Well,
right. Mhm.
all right, Corey.
Well, I'll just let you wrap this up. I don't want Sandy to get, she might ground you from next Friday too. So
Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock. I get to bed at 10 o'clock. I'll get a full night's sleep and I'll
you
be
need
good.
it.
And I'll be coming on again Friday, guys. I might throw a video here and there, but I won't be doing a live till Friday because I got to work straight through till Friday. But, I love you guys. Hey, Corey, thanks for coming on. It's always good talking to you. I had a good time tonight. This was fun. And
Okay.
that's how the
Okay.
lives should be.
They
But,
should be. Yeah.
yeah. But I'll
Okay. I'm
talk
gonna
to you
drop down,
soon.
bud.
All right. Thanks so much. All right, guys. Thank you so much for, tuning in. And the panel was great. I enjoyed it. Pro White Leadership, Lady T, Asia, Butters, Corey. Yeah, this was nice tonight. It really was. And I enjoyed it. Even though we drifted, hey, I don't care. When the conversation's good, it's good. And I love it when it's good. I had a good time. And I hope you guys, enjoyed. And I love you guys. I'll see you guys Friday, okay? I'll probably make a couple videos I'll put out there. And some people want me to do more videos, just giving my quick thoughts. I haven't done that in a while, but I'll do that too. And then I'll go live Friday. So, but I'll see you. Have a good night. God bless you and your families. And I'll see you guys soon. All right. See you Friday. Have a good night. God bless.